Here's a message of importance to millions of people who are continually pale and washed out, weak and run down. Doctors will tell you that these conditions are often caused by a deficiency of iron. The iron you need to keep you physically fit and mentally alert. Medical studies show that 2 out of 3 women and many, many men lack the daily iron your body requires, in a form your body can easily use and put to work. Every dose gives you more than your daily minimum iron requirement.
We are the way, we are the way, we are not alone. We are striving for more.
So if you're not getting the iron your body needs, if you feel weak, run down, and are easily upset, start taking iron today.
Not for me, okay?
For you.
It's Friday, my dudes.
It is Friday, my dudes. And TGIF to you all. Welcome to Have No Sphere, right here on the Iron Realm Media podcast channel. 'Tis the Iron Realm Media backup channel, seeing as how we've gotten a copyright strike and cannot live stream till, well, May-ish. Somewhere in May, I think. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But my name is Josh Corey, and I just wanted to give a shout out to everybody there in chat. I don't want to start rambling through the names, because as I start, more people will come through, and it's going to end up in this vicious cycle that will never end. So I just want to give a big shout out and big virtual across the plane hugs to all the people in chat. Glad to see you there. And to all the people that are not in chat, but are here listening. We love you too. It's been a pretty quiet week for me, actually. So I've got really not a whole lot to relate necessarily. Actually, I do. Let me just take a second before I start my introductions and tell you how much I appreciate the people that I'm about to introduce. Dixie and I had a bit of a emergency a couple Fridays ago. Hell, might have been last Friday. Time flies. I don't even know. But we found out that Dixie was pregnant. But we only found out she was pregnant when she miscarried. So the last week has been real kind of crazy, just trying to get emotions leveled out, hormones. I guess it's been 2 weeks now. So yeah, things were crazy here. I don't know, again, and then the weird energies. We've just been having to rely on each other. And I've had to rely on the folks here on the realm who have been absolutely nothing but loving and supportive. So I really appreciate it. I really felt like I was mailing it in those last few shows just because my head wasn't there. I was still trying to process and grieve something I didn't even really want to begin with. So there's that. But I just want you to know how much I love these folks here and how much I really, really enjoy, and almost it's almost a need to have to hang out with these folks, because I don't know what I would do without them. and I've only met a couple of them actually in person. So let's jump right in and say hello to Mr. Walter Johnson. You might know him as Flat Earth Head on the YouTubes. Walter, how in the hell are you, sir? Happy Friday.
I am beautiful and blessed, sir, because I get to hang out with you and know you and send you love and get that love back from you and Dixie and the family there. So much appreciated, reciprocated a bazillion times, friend. And as you've been told numerous times, you know where I am and you know where we are. Love you guys. Love you guys. Love you guys, too, in chat and here on this panel. And as Josh says, it is definitely a safety net, a sanity place, a beautiful home with a lot of beautiful people in it. So thank you guys. And I'm going to shut up my rambling before I start bawling. So love you, friends. Love you guys.
Love you, too. And thank you so much. Then let's say hello to Mr. Zachary Zabala, Z Squared. You may know him as Good Times for All on YouTube. Zach, how in the hell are you, sir?
Hey, Josh. Hey, Walt. That was beautiful, Josh.
Oh,
Yeah,
thanks.
you know, we're family. You know how it goes. You know, when somebody's feeling down, we all feel down. You know, when somebody has something going on, you're always in our thoughts. Always. You know that.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, even when there's nothing going on, you know, you're still always in the thoughts somewhere. Always. Yeah. Yeah, like you said, this is like therapy. I think for all of us. This is how we keep sane in this crazy realm that, you know, we're trying to work our way through. Yeah, this is some of the best therapy. I've never been to therapy, but this is what it should be like, if there is such a thing.
Well, the great thing about therapy, I am well versed in therapy. I was in therapy at a very young age. The best thing about therapy that I found out as an adult is just having that alternate perspective. Someone that doesn't have any emotional investment. There's no personal involvement. There's no history. There's no previous things clouding their judgment. There's a very specific shaded set of glasses through which they are viewing you. And just having that outside perspective, someone that can give a perspective on things that you probably did not even realize existed, is absolutely beneficial in therapy. And one of the great things I love about hanging out with you guys here and all of you folks in chat is being able to see all these different perspectives and see all these just super smart people coming at me with views and perspectives that I would have never even imagined. So it really is a lot like therapy in that regard for me too.
Awesome. Yeah. Well said.
Well, let's say hello to my sister from another mister, Mrs. Cami Nodell. Cami, how's your week been? How have you been? I missed you since last week.
I have missed you. It's been a slow and sleepy week. I told you earlier, like I went down with the migraine and sending love out to everybody and just had a real quiet week. Feeling so much better now, but still just playing catch up, doing the laundry, doing the, home happy things. And it's nice to be here on a Friday night amongst family and friends and just putting everything back together. Feels good. There's no place I'd rather be. Love you.
Well, I love you too. We're so honored to have you here. Give your husband a big hug for us too. We miss him as well.
I will. He is currently on a channel called Brandon's, I think also with a pair of headphones on. He's tougher than I am. He's out in the sunroom. He does have the heater on, but yeah, I'll require a few more degrees of warmth before I make it out there this late in the evening. So
yeah, it's a little chilly for that here too.
Getting there though.
And then let's say hello to Mr. Lucas King, LC King on YouTube. Lucas, how's your Saturday going so far? Yeah, that's kind of what I thought.
Hello, Lucas. Hello, Lucas. Across the plate. In the future, are we getting through to you in the future? It would seem we have lost him in the temporal zone somewhere. My goodness. Well, When you find your way back to our realm, sir, you let us know. ... dash. I'm just kidding.
Well, then let's just go ahead and say hello to our guest. We haven't had this guest on in quite some time. It feels like it's been at least a couple years, but again, last year doesn't seem
I
to
think
count.
last year he was on, wasn't he? Didn't he break the Bible last year?
When I was in Oregon, I know he was on last year while I was in
I guess
Oregon,
that's
for
right.
sure.
I guess that's right. Which, by the way, is our highest viewed video over on
Is it
Odyssey.
really?
Well, on Odyssey.
Oh, okay.
I think there's like 4 views on that one.
That's funny.
But we were talking this morning about Odyssey and Library and how Library backs up automatically. So I'm going to have to get all of these shows that we've been doing here on this channel uploaded to our main channel so that Library will back them up, which will back them up to Odyssey as well. So I guess I need to quit fucking around and start doing something. Speaking of fucking around, apparently there's somebody been talking about the cussing going on TFR, and that maybe there was supposed to be some sort of, limitations on the curse words. This was in the back chat there on TFR. So I don't know. I'm assuming it must have been our show. I don't know of any other show that's probably as filthy as ours. So, I just wanted to throw that out there.
I don't know. I've heard a few things.
And really, I don't particularly care. I thought it was for the 1 or 2 shows on TFR that were syndicated and also aired on terrestrial radio. There was a few of them that were picked up and aired terrestrially. And for that reason and FCC reasons, there were things that show couldn't say. But it's not like the channel, that station was playing all of TFR. But I do know that there's some very specific sound bites in between shows and during the commercial breaks, whereupon Chris Gio will tell you specifically that there is no censorship and that they don't limit the things that their hosts say. So yep. I'm stuck. What do you do?
Yeah, it's one of those. I don't know.
Am I here now?
There he is.
Yeah, sweet.
We don't swear like sailors on there or anything.
Well, sometimes I do.
Yeah, we cut it back though.
And we do. There are times that we restrain.
I thought they have to write into tough titties at gmail.com.
Right? Maybe that's what I should. Maybe that's what I should put in the back chat. That's what I'll say. At 4 a.m. Central Time, we get a little filthy mouthed. Sorry. Please forward all of your complaints to toughtitties@gmail.com.
That's right, Winston. Fuck the fucking fuckers.
So since I've already started one intro and then had to skip it and start another intro and then got sidetracked, let's go back to the original intro and say hello to Lucas. Lucas, how are your Saturday going, sir?
It's been flat out. I've been told, get out of bed. You got to get this stuff going, and you got to go and take the cool room and load the cool room. And yep, so I've been doing that, and then I'll have to go back out and do all that catering business for the races. So it's all good. But I stayed up far too late.
What kind of races?
Horse races.
Yeah. I guess they're cool.
So, yeah, they are what they are. It's a job.
Yeah. No, I mean just being at the horse races. I guess it's better than being at like one of the NASCAR races where you can't talk to the person sitting next to you because the cars are so loud. So it could be worse.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, horses don't make too much noise.
That thunder as they go by, though, that rumble is pretty intense in your chest region.
Oh, have you ever felt that?
Yeah, it's cool.
Dude, I grew up around the horse racing that my family had horses involved in. Yeah, it was.
That was one of the coolest things I ever saw in high school sports. I had never been to a cross country anything, and when they have like their semi-state and the big ones, there's like 100 and something, big high school guys that go running by, and you could feel the ground just shaking. I was blown away. I had never seen that many people in like a big stampede go running by and felt it.
I feel the
And how's that for a great segue into the second introduction that I started but didn't finish? And this should be able to round us out from the guest that we haven't had on since, well, earlier this year, apparently, as he broke the Bible with our most watched video on Odyssey. Travis Finley from The Plain Truth on YouTube. Travis, how have you been doing? How are you? It is such an honor to have you back on. It's been way too long.
It's been a hot minute. Hello, hello, hello. What ho, everybody.
Going
Disho.
on.
What's that mean? What'd you just do, Josh?
I said disho.
Oh,
You want to know what ho? I said disho.
Yeah, things are going well. I am in a interesting transition. I'm on a self-imposed sabbatical from work. I haven't been working since mid-January, and that's been kind of weird. Every day to just not having those kinds of obligations, that freedom to just focus on what I want to focus on. And so, yeah, we're going to be talking about that a little bit tonight as soon as my video gets done uploading. But I've been trying to put out some more content on my show, going through the footage that I collected from Pontchartrain when I passed through there, taking some videos, some fantastic videos. If you're interested in that stuff, check out the links that Josh has provided in the show notes. Just amazing. I absolutely love this hobby. Absolutely just enthralled with it. I could just, and I do it all.
Yeah, I would call it more of a passion than a hobby.
Yeah. It really is a passion. I absolutely love it. Right. So the whole trick that we talk about is how to, I guess in a way in this world, make a living doing what you love. I haven't figured that part out yet on this, but I'm working towards it. So we'll see what happens.
Well, that is absolutely awesome. There's nothing like life transitions. Just that little bit of fear to light a fire under your ass and keep you moving, keep you going.
Yeah, and this one is one that I've experienced where I've imposed it upon myself, this transition. The other transitions I had were involuntary. I did not. Hold on. Shout out to Captain Joe Mama out there in the chat. He is the man. Joe helped me do some observations in California off the coast on the Channel Islands in his boat. And yeah, Joe is the man. Shout out to Joe Mama in the chat.
Yeah, I caught that one. Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's, and that's kind of what you're looking to do almost, is get, not just you out there, but a group of people out there.
Yeah, I need 5 Joe Mamas out there on the water.
Yeah,
at the
it
same
really
time.
you need measurements from both ends, air, water, ground temperature, everything. Any kind of readings you can get out there from as many different angles and perspectives.
Yeah.
Do you carry a portable weather station with you, Trav, just to get all those readings and just to have that data?
I am not that far developed. I have Amazon purchased barometers and thermometers. That's about it where I've got right now. So
gotcha.
Yep.
So am I the only one that remembers in the early days of Android phones there being apps that would do that for you?
Tell you the weather?
Before Google got involved, when it was still the Android phone, Google had not got their claws in it yet. You could get apps that would do insane shit like that, like literally deal with weather and barometric shit around you from the phone, because it has all kind of shit in there like that. But then Google got their claws in it, and they're like, yeah, anything good, you're going to pay $10, $12, $20, whatever for it, or we're just going to get rid of it because we don't really want you having that info. So lots of shit disappeared when it became the Google Play Store.
Yeah. I mean, I do have the obvious, like you said, on the iPhone, they do have just the typical weather reading that you can get from your weather app. But other than that, I haven't delved too much into it. I'm
Like
sure that
one of
it's,
them played itself off as like a tricorder, essentially, but it was picking readings up in the electromagnetic field around you. It was picking readings up in the barometric pressure around you physically, not picking it up from some map app, or whatever, or the local weather app.
Yeah, some buoy that's
right.
5
No,
miles
it was
away.
on you. It was what was happening, literally right there. It was like, I've got a tricorder, awesome. But then, as I said, that was the very first one I got. Because it was Android and not iPhone and tied into their corporate crap, I got that and like, cool, what can I do with it? And when I found out it had all these toys, I had and I'm so sure some of those were jokes at the time, but this one, when I played with it out on the boat, I would get different things. When I played with it, out in the woods, I would get different things. It seemed to be doing some stuff.
well, I did that the other day. I jumped on my phone and just Googled the weather for where I was. And the first place that I went to was up in Delaware. So they were taking readings from down where I was. And then wherever this place was based in Delaware. But it said that the wind was like almost 20 miles an hour in Havre de Grace where I live. And I'm looking around not seeing a leaf blow.
Yeah.
So I'm like, how accurate is this?
Mm-hmm.
How accurate is this?
They're not accurate anymore. And especially with the sort of stuff about the, climate change, there's sort of a pushing agenda through it. There was a guy that I was watching YouTube channel, and he was basically, exposing this. They'll change the temperatures and things like that just to suit, change the averages. So, it's not accurate at all. We used to use like a little handheld, and they're pretty easy to get, and they've got like a little fan on them, so you could hold it up and get your wind direction, get your temperature. I think it was the RH point, and you could do a number of things as well. So, even little handheld ones would give you some indication.
Yeah, I'm finding one. Lowe's, $55. General tools and instruments. An anemometer. I'm not sure what it's supposed to measure.
It's anonymous. It's an anonymous meter.
Oh, airflow. It measures airflow.
I'm seeing a variety of them, like Amazon, different places. There's some that have both like fan, where you literally hold it up and it's measuring wind speed, things like that. Others seem to be
here's one.
Connected to
$170, and it's
the web,
but smart Wi-Fi weather.
Yeah, pretty pricey.
And then they get real pricey.
Yeah, well, this one,
the ones like he's
we
talking
used
about back in the day, right? That's what I'm trying to find too. There, Lucas.
They had the dew point and the RH, which are probably nearly as important as wind and things like that.
Yeah.
So
that's one of the meters that I have has the relative humidity percentage, temperature, and barometer on that.
Yep.
I'd like to try to. I should do this because I've got plenty of twine to cast out a water thermometer that I can throw it out there a little bit farther, because I usually just do it on the shoreline, and the shore is 6 inches deep, so it's not going to be as accurate, right, as what you're going to get maybe 30 yards out there where you've got more of a current going. But
yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, as soon as you get deeper waters, you're losing heat.
Oh yeah, they got some awesome ones.
I know, I'm lost at them too. So
pricey. Yeah, I got to quit looking.
And what's funny, I used to have a thing mounted on my house that gave me weather literally right here, and then it connected to other stations, and you could see the sky and all that. It started having problems, getting wonky, and just kind of stopped working. So, but definitely, I miss it a lot.
So, Travis, what are some of the interesting things that you've seen? Like Zach was telling me that you've seen sort of things shifting even sideways, that sort of thing. So,
well, I can pull up that video real quick and play that. But Yeah, when I first started this venture with my camera, I bought a P900, and the P900, of course, is touted as the flat Earth camera. Let's see. One of the things I was going to say is this was early on in my introduction to flat Earth, which was started in August of 2017. So by spring of 2018, I had heard so much of the rhetoric about boats disappearing over the horizon, and the mighty P900 could bring those back over the curve. If you see a boat disappear over the curve, just get out your mighty P900 and boom, there it is. So I did that, and I was like, wait a minute, that's not what's going on. I'm standing on the beach. I can see the horizon, but I can't see this little blip on the horizon. So then I get my P900 out, and then I see a blip. So then I look with my eyes, no blip. Camera, blip. So it was not over the horizon. It wasn't past the horizon. It wasn't behind the curve. It was simply farther than my eye could resolve. So the P900 is just simply a mechanical oculus that extends my ability to see. So it's still there. So that was the first thing for me that I debunked from a flat Earth claim, right? This isn't bringing it back over the curve. Of course, we know that there's no curve, but even that way of saying it to me is misleading. So everybody out there, stop saying it. Don't say it. And if you're hearing it, don't believe it. That's not what's meant. That's not what's being said. We can say it better. We need to say it better. We need to say things with clarity. Like, for instance, I've learned not to say any longer, water doesn't curve, bro. Because you know what happens the very first response from a troll? What's the first thing, guys?
Water tension droplet on a penny.
Yeah. They show you a tension droplet on a penny or on the surface of, a bead of water on a finely waxed Ferrari. Like, bro, look, this water is curved. Okay, fine. Look, that's not what I meant. So I've learned to say exactly what I mean, right? So we can say water that is contained in massive volumes like a lake, something like that. You have to extend it to a larger body of water. So
yeah, you give me enough power, I'll bend some water, I bet.
Well, okay, sure, right?
Yeah, okay.
But see, that's the whole idea is that it's context, right? Yeah, you can with static bend a trickle of water coming out of your faucet. Yeah, you can do that, but that's not what we're talking about when we're talking about the structure of the heliocentric model on a globe, right? Yeah. Well, I'm saying it for people who, need to maybe process the information a little bit better. So we have to be more precise and more clear, more exact with what we're talking about, with what we're saying, because the first response when some knucklehead puts out a bead of water on the surface of something is, okay, would you mind putting a lump of rock in that bubble of water?
Yeah, and see what happens.
Then spin it 1,000 miles an hour and then come back to me. Because that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about.
And even with that, bringing the over the curve thing that you were saying, if there was curve, well, it would be in the way. So it doesn't matter if you could, pull your camera out, there would be a large bump and it would be behind that curve. So yeah, obviously it's ridiculous.
So would you like me to share this, or do you want me to give you the link, Josh, who has now stepped away from his MC chair? I suppose I could just open it and share my screen. And I don't know if you need to then give my screen playtime. So give me a second.
Let me see.
Oh yeah, you're the maestro. You're the maestro. You're the maestro.
No, you're a co-host. You have the power.
I've got the power. Okay, so what I'm going to do is bring this over here and see if you guys can see that. That work for you guys?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir. As far as did you share the sound, I meant to get on it and make sure you did that. I'm sorry. I couldn't find my button quick enough.
All right. So this is one of my observations that I have here on the Chesapeake Bay. This is an observation that is 0.85 miles away. And this house that you see here right off center is what I call the Red Roof House, because that's what I've known it as ever since I saw it and chose it as an observation point. This is actually an Airbnb. You can rent this out, I think, at like $500 a day. And I think it's called the Red Point Lighthouse, because this is Red Point, Maryland, in Cecil County. So what we have here, and I shot this last week, and I have other images like this that are a little bit more clear, but in my opinion, this is the best shot of the shoreline that I have. Can you guys see my mouse here zipping around?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that is super clear. That's crazy how far down.
I know.
And you can draw and all those things too, right?
I don't. Yeah, I was just going to ask you, can I use an arrow?
Click at the top right, there's a view options, and when you pull it down, you should see annotate.
All right, hold on.
And once you have that, there's options, but when you play around with them, it'll take a little learning curve. Some, when you draw, they're a little laggy and it takes a minute to pop up. Sometimes when you click the clear, it takes a minute for things to move and disappear for you. So just give it a second before you click.
So
going crazy, got everything messed up.
My menu that comes up, the only place I see annotate is disable for others, but I don't see an option for me to.
What's he got to do there, guys? I'm trying to see the option when you're sharing. I'm not seeing what the differences are for me. I just have annotate.
Oh, I see it. It's in a different. I got it. There's mouse, text, draw, stamp, blah 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 blah. Let's see if this mouse gives me a.
I think if you use the draw, we can both see you drawing and see the cursor you're drawing with. If I'm not mistaken, like a little, there it is, the
the arrow,
arrow one, right?
But but what I want to do is I want to have an arrow that I can drag like my mouse. And I don't know if that's possible.
I think that's if you click on arrow, then no, that puts it there. I'm playing too. I'll stop too.
All right. Well.
All right. We're getting there, ladies and gentlemen.
I think I'm just going to use my mouse. I don't want to belabor the point.
Just try the mouse pointer for a minute.
I'm going to be good.
It doesn't get across. Draw in.
If you guys figure it out, let me know. But in the meantime, you can see my mouse right here. So, again, this is 5.85 miles away. My observation point is right on the shoreline. I have a spot that I set up at every single time. It's right next to a posted sign that says no swimming. And so my observation point is about 5.5 feet elevation. So this observation is from basically where you would stand on the shore. This is what you would see with your naked eye, except not with this amount of zoom. What you would see with your naked eye would be very, 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 very small. But this image is zoomed in all the way on the optical zoom for the mighty P900. I have two arrows here. This one here on the bottom right.
Is that the sorry, Trav? Is that the 160 zoom or just the optical zoom of the?
So
90. What is it? 83 by zoom?
It's the full 80. Well, yeah.
Yeah, because there's an optical and then it goes digital.
Digital, yeah. But okay, so the way that most cameras are set up, as far as I understand, a 35 millimeter is basically what you see with your eye. Okay. The P900 starts off in the negative. That is, it is zoomed out farther.
Yeah,
so
it's
that
way bigger than your eye. So
that you have a wider field of view than what you normally see with your eye. Now, unfortunately, with the P900, I think that I've heard that the P9 or the P1000 might have tweaked this a little bit, but on the screen that I use, it doesn't tell you what your millimeter zoom is. It tells you the focal length and the ISO, but it doesn't tell you your millimeter, which would be very helpful for me. But this is full optical zoom. And what I can tell you about that is that when you take a snapshot of this with the full optical zoom and then you go to your properties, it is at 357 millimeter. Okay. I think that that is the 83 times capacity. And then when you push past that into the digital simply magnifies that final zoom. It doesn't zoom in farther, it just magnifies what's already there.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm lazy, so I'm sure that there's more detail to break that down, but I'm not your guy for that. I'm not your guy. But this bottom arrow that I've got inserted here is for the horizontal, and the arrow to the top left is for the vertical. Now, this antenna here, which I'm assuming is probably a millimeter antenna of some sort, possibly 4G. It's been there, you know, the whole time that I've been here in the past 3 years. But this is how I frame my shot. When I zoom in to the full zoom, I put this right at the corner as best I can, and I can show you shot after shot.
Nice.
Yeah, it's very helpful for these.
They're right to have just a natural box to work.
Exactly.
Right there. That's
exactly.
Awesome.
Yeah. And so I can show you shot after shot after shot of this observation with the same focal length, and nothing is in the same place and nothing is the same size.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Okay. So what I originally started out to say is that as I started this adventure with the P900, I did not know what I was going to see, right? So one of the criticisms that we get levied at us is, oh, you're just confirming your bias. I didn't have a bias because I didn't know what I was going to see, right? In fact, the first alleged bias that I had was that I was going to be able to pull a boat back up from over the curve, and I debunked that within a minute. I understood exactly what I was seeing, and could explain it very easily. So from the beginning, I've made comments like that where you're not pulling this boat back over the curve; you're simply seeing it where it's located. It's in front of you. If you can see something, it's because it's there, right in front of you. If you can't see it, it's either not there or there is an obstruction. And the obstruction for all of the globe flakes out there is Earth curve. If you can't see something, it's Earth curve. And that's the first thing that I started to unpack in this adventure in understanding refraction, is that the refraction is always the obstruction, always. It's never Earth curve. Because as I said, with this observation here, not only is this observation in a different scale on different days, even though I've zoomed into the same place, even though I'm at the same elevation, even though all of those things are consistent, because those are the variables I can control. I'll control my distance to this object, to this observation. I'll control my elevation to this observation, and I will control the zoom. Those are the three variables that I can control. Everything after that, I am at the mercy of Mistress Ætherband. Everybody drink. Now, the term Ætherband is a term that I created because I had not done my research in the field of optics and refraction with atmospheric refraction. And so I was just basically a brand new scientist, right? I'm just describing what I see. And I was thinking, okay, so how can I describe this? What term can I start to use that I'm going to associate with my observations? And I chose the term Ætherband. And the term Ætherband, first of all, is more economic because I'm saving 3 syllables. Okay, that's important, right? It's important. You don't want to waste people's time. If I say atmospheric refraction, I just said 6 syllables. Ætherband, 3 syllables. Okay, so I'm economic. And it's basically referring to the same thing. It's simply the medium through which you are looking, and that medium is dependent upon the climate of the day. Barometric pressure, temperature, air pressure, wind speed, position of the sun, season. I mean, who knows how many variables are out there. So I started to notice that these observations, and when I went back and looked at different footage and saw that I had the same focal length and the same observation, but I had different presentments, I was thinking, what's going on? What is this? Because, gentlemen, what I can tell you is that, I guess, let me see if I can buy some time real quick with pulling up a, let me pull up a still of this shot. I've got a file. Let's see. Give me a second. Where did I just do? That's that.
Good stuff, man. Absolutely. I'll give you a little cover while you're looking and digging. I know it's hard to multitask.
No, go ahead. Yeah, I am bad at multitasking. So go ahead and talk.
I am the worst. David was blowing me away this morning. I offhandedly mentioned a picture, and while we were talking to him and he is speaking, he gets it ready and puts it on the app. I'm like, dude, you're a multitasking beast. So definitely.
I can't even monotask.
I was going to say I barely can handle one thing at a time, let alone 2.
All right. Now,
and thank you all for being here and hanging out. Get this shared out there. This is some good stuff. Definitely want to get this out there. It's a little difficult as we're struggling with our little backup channel here. Our punishment is lengthy. So what we'll have to do is start premiering these over there on our regular channel so more folks can get access to this stuff. But definitely thank y'all for helping us get it out there. As a side note, while he's digging, taking some of the guilt there, Josh, I appreciate the sentiment, but dude, every time I cuss, I try to apologize. I know Zach is not a foul-mouthed sailor by any fucking means. No, I'm just being silly. And I have heard quite a few other shows there on the old TFR get a little rambunctious. In fact, I saw some chat there saying names. I'm not going to repeat them, but yeah. A few names were mentioned. Let's just say that might be the cause of some of that back chatter. But hey, it could be us. And if so, tough titties.
Tough titties.
Hey, that's cool.
All right, you got this?
Right. Now, first of all, those are not filters.
No.
Exactly.
No. Okay, so this is on the same setup. I'm in the same location, and all I'm doing is panning. This is my other observation. And again, while this is a buoy and it's tethered, so it does have some flexibility in terms of where it will wander. Basically, it's in this area here. So you can see here that I've got full zoom here, 357. I've got a full zoom here, 357. This one is a bit farther out, but it's not, it's what, there's 60, 30, so it's like 90 millimeter, okay? But the one thing that you can see here is that this little niche in the tree line, right?
Yep.
See where I'm pointing?
Yeah, we can see it.
Absolutely.
Yep, that's,
absolutely.
okay, that circle, that's right here.
Got it.
And right here.
So with these, you're basically got the exact same setup, and you're pointing in the exact same direction, and you can see that shift.
Correct.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
All right.
Even
so
the colors of the buoy there,
yeah,
compared to each other, look completely different.
Well, it's different times of day.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go.
No, you go.
Well, no, even on the two with the exact same 357, if you had taken those, lined up the water line with the water line,
yep,
you know what I'm saying? The
yep,
total
there you
tree
go.
line, the total
there
tree
you
line
go. Exactly.
So it would be ridiculous.
Exactly.
I can see that just visually, let alone if you had done it that way. And this is
exactly
exact numbers. And then that little 90 off is not that much in photography, for damn sure.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, each of these is going to be taken at on a different day and a different time of day. This one on the far right is the very end of the day at dusk. You can see the, the orange of the sky. This one on the very left is a little bit earlier in the afternoon, but it is still an afternoon shot. And this one here in the middle is in the middle of the day. So what I want to point out is that, let's say, for instance, I started going through my footage, and in this one, I look and I see it's 357. I'm going, okay, I see it. 357. Let me look for another file with 357. And lo and behold, I get this one. Can you tell me some differences between these two? Walt already mentioned it, but what are some other differences?
Well, I mean, the buildings are completely gone almost in the middle one. And the other one, they look like little dots on that water line way in the distance. In the middle one, what we can see of those distant shoreline buildings seems to be just hovering little dots there to the left of the buoy. The way
Looks
the
like
actual water looks itself,
Yep, good.
the
texture of the waves.
Texture, yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
Like the distance between the waves, almost, I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, totally different.
Yep. Anybody else?
And then on that far right one, it's this effect I've seen before where I was out doing stuff on the shoreline trying to get distance and figure out things as far as what I could see. And about where the word looming is on that far right picture, that looming word is actually sitting on a fake horizon line right there that's being created by atmosphere, water, whatever. And if there was a boat right there, you would only see about half of it right behind where that line is next to looming. Do you see what I'm talking about?
I understand exactly what you're talking about. Mm-hmm.
So that's the things I'm saying just off shot. Go ahead, anyone else?
Well, I was just going to say that second picture, it's got a really distinct line before it starts its sort of mirroring.
The middle picture?
Yeah.
Unpack that.
For the water there, it's got a really distinct line from where the water is, and then the rest of it just seems to be a complete reflection.
It almost feels closer if that's.
It's like there's a wall of water.
Hey, you guys are hitting it. You guys are hitting. You're singing my song. You're hitting the notes.
Not getting the lyrics right.
No, yeah. The tune you know, the words you hum, right? Anybody name that song?
If you imagine them being ramps, like if you're looking at the water as you're looking up the ramp of our perspective. So the middle ramp is a lot shorter ramp and cut off a lot lower. And the left ramp, while it looks at first glance to be a straight out ramp, I think it's got that fake line too, maybe right above the eye in the looming on that left one. And then, like I said before, that right one is definitely got two layers of ramping, it looks like to me. Like there's a ramp and then another ramp and then the shore out there. And I'm saying it all wrong, I'm sure, but that's what it looks like.
Please don't say that. You're saying everything right. That's how, okay, everybody out there in Iron Realm land, this is how simple this science is. Our language of words is the most simple expression of what we're looking at. We don't need a mathematical equation. We don't need delta, lambda, zeta, minus beta, alpha, kappa to the 10th negative Tor. Okay, we don't need that shit. Okay, that's another language that you bring in to translate the language that you could just simply use with your words. So I want to empower you, Walt. Don't put yourself down. You're not saying anything wrong. It's exactly the way this discussion should go. Okay. So one of the things that we need to understand, let me just do this real quick. Looming in the heliocentric model is when we see what previous was hidden. So let's go to the middle. We have something hidden right here. We can see this shoreline. Now, if I showed you this shoreline right here, what would you, I know that this is a little bit of a loaded question because you have this image on the far left. So all you have to do is look to the left and you can tell me what you're seeing. But if I showed you this image right here, would you say that this was a house?
My first impression, if I saw this picture alone, would be that and what I'm seeing to the right might be how you see cliffs where there's vegetative on top, but then there's the scoop out to the shoreline. That's kind of what that looks like, the scooping out of the cliff line there.
Sure. But is it very clear?
Certainly not. It's not at all clear what the hell it is, obviously, or I would not think it was.
Would you say there was refraction in this observation here?
I mean, there has to be, but to be able to see it, it would definitely, I'd have to see a bigger version of that photograph. You know what I'm saying? Say perhaps where let me see. So are you seeing mine? No, you're not. Let me annotate here just so you can see my mouse. Okay, so are you seeing my mouse yet? It'll come up in a second. Or it should for you and everyone else. I'm going to go slow and let it chill.
For you.
For me.
No, not for me.
Not for me, okay? All right, well, let me get an arrow on here. Okay,
I don't see an arrow yet.
I'm going to get an arrow on here. Hold on.
Not for me, okay?
So if I was going to guess, I would say that about where that line is occurring at the tip of that red, all the way across, is a refraction occurring. The darkness and the lightness with that line through the middle right there is my guess. I'm probably wrong, just too far away.
Don't say you're probably wrong.
No, I'm saying just because I can't see it. If I could see a bigger picture, I would know. But that's where I was going to guess it would be. So you go and mark the correct paper, sir.
Hold on real quick. I'm distractificated. All right.
Now, what it looks like to me is like you think of the horizon always rising to eye level or whatever. It almost feels like in the picture that the camera was at different eye levels.
Yeah.
And it's like the same distance, but you're just taking a picture from a different angle to get a different ramping up to where your eye level would be.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And Cammie, that's what I'm sitting there, on my own in my study, looking at these photos, knowing that I didn't change my elevation. Right? Exactly what you're saying. That's what it appears I have done. And that's what I have been accused of lying about.
Okay, is there a tide difference or something? Could the water have gone up higher or lower at the time of taking the picture, which to me would change the perspective of it?
That is a variable that I think should be accounted for. But what I'm going to say is that I don't think it is as significant as to make
that much of a
difference. I didn't want to say significant again, but
no,
you
didn't. Oops, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
You say that you didn't change the altitude of the camera, but could it have gotten bumped in the teeniest way where just the angle was a little bit different, where the vector wasn't perfectly level, or was that really measured for? Because also just slightly tilting, you're the same distance, but I'm talking with a P900, it would be such a small amount for it to get tilted to give a different perspective.
Yeah, and when you get out and make these observations, one of the things that I have tried to figure out, again, I'm kind of trying to segue in a minute back to the video, because the video is basically a time lapse of stills, right? So you have a still right here that you can evaluate in the way that Cammie did appropriately. I mean, it's an appropriate evaluation for her to say, it looks like it's possible that your camera could have a different vector. And I would say, okay, I totally get that. But the caliber of tripods that I have, they're pretty nice. I've got two $100 tripods. They're pretty sturdy.
Hydraulic kind of, almost those kind.
No, not that advanced. These are just simple socket ball, like a shoulder, like a ball and socket.
Oh, well, even having that in it is better than the junk
Yeah.
I have over here. It's
Yeah,
about
yeah,
30
yeah.
bucks.
Yeah,
they get
the $20 Walmart tripod that I started off with was
junk,
like
right.
it was
Sneeze
like
and everything vibrates.
oh man, it was like kissing with your mouth closed. It was just horrible,
Mhm.
you know. And these are open mouth kiss tripods. It's just fantastic, smooth.
Wow, that went really weird, really
delicious.
quick there, Travis. I'm just
Hey, listen, that's,
So Travis, with the ability to zoom in that tight, it would take almost nothing to create a little bit of vector change
yeah,
at that.
you're right.
At
Yeah.
that zoom in. I mean, it would be different in normal optics that you think of in cameras, but where you're
It
zooming
would be like
that,
aiming
and
at the Earth from like a
sneeze.
Voyager thing or something.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that right there even tells you on looking at things like the stars in the heavens, and that just, again, a little nudge makes all the difference in the world.
Oh, not at all, not at all.
As
Because
far as like the water itself, living on lakes, living near a pond, growing up on all these bodies of water like I have, these are closed systems. These aren't fed by, well, some are fed by rivers, but some of the ponds are not fed by rivers. And yet there's heated days or different heights. Lake that I grew up in, swimming in, Shungalo, the wharf. Some days you could get under it easy. Some days you had to literally go underwater to get under it. And it depended on how cold that water was or how hot that water was. Just like the atmosphere changes with that temperature, with that whatever current of plasma that flows through it, the Ætherband. That's got to be as much of a variable in that water as there is in the air, because they're both the same thing, just different densities of liquid. To me, and I could be wrong, but growing up on it, I've seen it. The rocks have different little lines where it's this way one day, this way the next.
And you're right. And
the wharf
even
have a water line here some days and a water line here some days. It's variable. So even during the day, like you're saying, it could have been, you know, doing something. I don't know. Breathing. It's alive.
in the air, even, I mean, the moisture itself does it and everything does it very naturally, but add in pollutants and different particles in the air. And again, you can test this very short distance, seeing the amount of difference it can have on how you see it and where it appears. You're right. That's very, very cool. And again, we have all the atmosphere, but we forget about all the stuff that gets put in there, and the stuff that's in there naturally to the volcanic ash and that how it reflects to the UV spectrum, the infrared spectrum, the way it hazes, the way it does a lot. There's a lot going on. It's pretty interactive.
Yeah. Anybody else? I want as many opinions, you know, if anybody else, Zach or Lucas, if you want to jump in and just describe what you're seeing or add to what's been said, or.
Well, it looks like there's another mirroring going on behind the second picture. Like you have the water line there, and then it doesn't look like it's just you can actually see a mirroring going on.
Yes.
In the tree line all the way across, I see an above and below, and then the line right like underneath the houses almost.
Yep. What I'm doing right now is I'm looking for another shot that I can show you, because this has another frame. Let me see if this one, I've got another panel. Just like the house that I showed you, I'm able, see that, why did this open it up in a different, this is beautiful. Oh my God. Oh my God, I'm in love.
Wow, at different times of day makes a huge difference.
Okay, so you can see here the flexibility of this tether on the buoy. So I'm going to use this far left as my example. When I zoom in at 357, I put this buoy here on the right, as you know, as close to, and in the viewfinder, the digital viewfinder, I've got my grid up. It's a 3x3 grid. Okay, so I put this buoy in the area of the right grid, and this Turkey Point Cape. Okay, Turkey Point Cape. You can see that it's darker. In this instance, it very well could be a cloud, but you see here the Earlville topography. So around this cape is up to Delaware. Okay, this is where all the boats go. This is where the barges go with all of their quarried rocks and whatever. They go up this way. So this is Turkey Point Cape. So I framed this shot with Turkey Point Cape in the shot and the buoy in the shot. Sometimes I have to not zoom in as far because the buoy will be out of frame or the Turkey Point will be out of frame. Like here, I've got this in frame and this in frame, but Turkey Point's not here. Okay, right? But this is the same focal length on the left. Same focal length. And I have more in my field of view. Do you understand?
It's almost like it's magnifying.
Amen. I knew you were going to say that. And exactly. Oh, Travis, the atmosphere doesn't magnify, bro. Like, dude, do you get out and take shots? No, but the atmosphere, I've read it. They say it all the time. They don't it doesn't. Give me a break, man. These trolls that have no experience on the field, right? So, okay. What was I going to bring up? Oh, I think I was just going to bring up this part here where I frame the shot. Okay, so I've got Turkey Point here, Turkey Point here. These are all the same focal length, gentlemen and Cami. Nothing is to scale, people.
Yeah, they're all different.
Nothing's to scale. Which one is real?
All of them.
Okay. Here is where the trick gets played. I'm going to flip back and forth. Okay. Hold on. No, that's not the one I wanted. Where'd it go? How come I went all the way down there? Okay. Here in the middle, we have the horizon, the aquatic horizon. Okay, because obviously up here is the terrestrial horizon. This is the horizon. Where's the horizon in this shot? Up here at the tree line, because what is the horizon? The horizon is where apparently the sky meets good old terra firma, right? So we've got horizon here, horizon here. So if I say to somebody, where's the horizon? They should always say up here. However, on our globe Earth, whenever you see a limit to the water, that's Earth curve, baby. Every single time. Because what else is creating the limit to this water? Why can't you see more water? So that's what looming is, okay? This is reality for a baltard. For a globe flake, this is reality because look, there's the curve of the Earth. Where'd the curve go here? Where'd the curve go? Well, that it's looming, bro. The atmospheric refraction is bringing it up, bro. It's flattening out the curve so you can see farther. Okay, but listen to me very carefully. These are houses. These are houses. Those houses right here that are bigger and clearer are these houses right here. So I'm seeing the houses. Why? Because they're straight in front of me. Straight in front of me. Why can't I not see the houses here? Oh, that's because they're behind the curve, bro. They're behind the curve, bro. There's a problem, though. We have this tree line. We have this tree line. We have this tree line. We have everything that we need in our field of view. The only thing that's different right here, as Zach pointed out, is you've got an inferior mirage. An inferior mirage is the obstruction. There's no obstruction here. There's refraction so that you can't resolve the image very clearly. There is no obstruction here. We're looking down. Don't you guys see that little dog right there? There's a dog lapping. There's Hank. Hank's right there, and Zach's right there walking Hank, and they don't know I'm taking a picture of him, okay? Now, if there were a dog there, could you see it?
No.
No. This is 9 miles away. 9 miles. Okay? Here's the same 9 miles. Now, I'm just geeking out. You guys don't mind if I geek out, right?
Nah, geek.
Please, geek
Okay.
away.
Go for it.
Okay. So I'm going to pull this up and I'm going to ask you a question. I think this is the one. Give me a second. There you go. You see that question? But before you answer that, I'd like you to notice that I did my best to line up that tower on the left. Right? It's in the upper left-hand corner.
Yeah.
Framing my shot. Okay. Now, in both of these on the middle and the right, you see this little pavilion right here?
Mm-hmm.
It's right here. The red roof is right there. The red roof is right here. So that's another frame. I frame the red roof and I frame the tower. And that's at full optical zoom. Okay? When I do it. So here's my question. Out of these three, can you tell which one is shot with full optical zoom?
I would say the right one.
Okay. Anybody else?
Well, that's what you would say, but I think that it's all three.
All right, we got an all three. Anybody else?
No.
Well, actually, I would say the left one would be the full optical zoom, and the right one wouldn't be. That would be, I had it backwards.
I'm going to go for the center just to be different. Nobody else. Well,
I'm definitely going to think that the two on the left are involved with optical zoom just from the difference in that tree line. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Yeah, maybe. Okay, so on the right one, all the way over, it just looks crispy and Lindsay. The two on the left look digital. That's what I'm going to go with.
It's crispy.
My answer is no. Because I want to be different. No, I cannot tell which one is shot with full optical zoom.
All right. Well, I'm going to tell you, one of you has the right answer. Do we have a prize for the winner, gentlemen? Lucas is correct. All three are the same focal length.
Go, Lucas.
They are all three the same focal length. And in all three, nothing is to scale. Nothing.
So what was the tale for you, Lucas, truly?
Well, I was looking at those other three pictures he had up earlier, and he was saying that they're all different. So, and he shot them the same. So this is the same thing. It's just different.
You're using logic. That's not fair. No, I'm kidding. It just from visual appearances, that right one looks very, very Lindsay.
Is that a technical term? I'm not sure. I'm familiar with that term.
Look that up. You're not a photog.
Lindsay.
It's Lindsay. It's Lindsay, mate.
I got Lindsay.
Like the guy on Mount Everest with his GoPro taking a selfie. That's a fucking Lindsay shot.
Okay. So now in this image, we have a shit ton of refraction. Okay. The house is blurry.
Is that a photography term? I had to go.
Shit ton? Yeah, shit ton. So you've got a lot of a lot of dynamism going on in here. If this were a video, we would see like a heat haze blowing across in one direction or another. It would just look like there's just this, like a river of atmosphere blowing through. Okay. So if you see right here where the red roof pavilion is, you can actually see the posts of the red roof pavilion. Okay. That red roof pavilion stands at about 20 feet elevation. The roof is elevated, is at a 20-foot elevation from the water. It is about 40 feet off the water distance. Okay. But I would say, because we've got what appears to be shoreline here and under the house, so right Here, we stop seeing shoreline. Right here, we get trees, maybe something here. Nothing brown, and then all of a sudden brown right here. You see that? Okay. But we're still looking in the direction of the shoreline. Here, you can't see any of that. You can't even see the brown over here, this brown. It should be right here. We can't see that. So this is highly refracted. However, this is highly refracted. It's just a different refraction phenomenon. Okay? If we zoom...
Yeah, it almost looks like it's just taking place in a different spot. I mean, you have 9 miles there. One could be happening 7 miles away, where it's really doing all the movement, and the other one could be happening like 5 miles away.
Well, this observation is 5.85 miles.
Oh, okay. Well, still, that's a fair distance away.
Sure. But right here at the shoreline, there is a tight, acute inferior mirage. Okay. So
like, it's a cute one?
It's a cute one, yeah. It's not obtuse. It's not obtuse. So my point is that when you hear these globe flakes talk about, oh, take a picture when it's a low refraction day, I always say, can you show me what that looks like, please? And you know what? They never do. They never can. They'll say, oh, well, the black swan. The black swan is perfect. It's got like no refraction. No, there's always refraction. You see this image over here on the left? There's a shit ton of refraction here. This is an obtuse amount of an inferior mirage. Okay, you've got this house right here mirrored on itself right here. Okay, so right here is the shoreline. This is where the shoreline is, right here. Why can't you see the shore like you can right here? Why can't you, So my question again in this image is, what is creating the limit to the water? Well, what do you mean, Travis? I don't understand. What do you mean by the limit to the water? Okay, well, do you see the water here? Is there more distance here? Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I mean, look, we lined up your tower. That lines up pretty good. Yeah. Okay, yeah, sure. I'm seeing more water. Why can't you see more water here? What's the cause? If you're a globe flake, it has to be every single time the curve of the Earth. So where'd the curve go? Where'd the curve go? Okay. Going back here, looming is a heliocentric term for atmospheric refraction phenomena. Okay, looming only occurs in a heliocentric model. It does not occur on a flat Earth, although this is what looming looks like, gentlemen and Cami. Okay, this is what looming looks like. And if you go to the infamous black swan, guess what kind of picture you're going to see? You're going to see this. You're going to see this kind of distortion in those platforms. It's the exact same conditions, and it presents to you the exact same blurriness of presentment. But it also shows you distance. Okay? Now, in this image right here, you have what looks like, and Cami, I think, said it. I used to say it this way, and I mean, I still do, but it looks like I'm closer down to the water and closer to the water. I'm sorry. It looks like I'm lower down to the water and closer to it, because look how big this water looks. This one, in my other pictures like this, I think I do another one. Let me see if this was the one. This is another trick question. Can you tell which one is the longer focal length? That is, which one is zoomed in farther?
I stand by my answer.
No.
All of I'm being silly. Let me look.
I'd say the one on the right is zoomed in.
I stand by my answer.
Just playing devil's
I-
advocate.
I think Lucas is right on this one. I think he's playing the same game again.
I'm playing the same game again. Okay. So I in like, let's go back to
Phenomena.
Did it disappear? Oh, it did. The other one. Oh no, there it is. I can bring it up here. I got a tab. Hold on. Tab. Okay.
Now, Travis, oops.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I was going to say, have you been watching the news today at all?
Yeah, I took a look at it, and Mick West already put out a response to it, and I thought it was a really good response.
I dropped it in the different Iron Realm chats. If anybody wanted to see it, there's a boat just hovering, a super tanker. I've never seen such a clear picture of it, just hovering, and they're saying it's super looming or a superior mirage. In all of the news things. I just dropped it in Iron Realm only.
I think
Iron
I've
Realm.
had that one. Hang on.
Yeah, I'm going to send this to you, Josh. It's on my phone, so that's why I'm going to send it through Skype. This is another example of what Cammie's bringing up, and I believe that it's actually, if not in the same area, it's in the UK. Okay, so if you want to talk about that in a little bit, but going back to this frame here in the middle, I would say, if I were asked the question, which one of these focal lengths is not zoomed in as much, because this looks smaller and farther away, I would say these are zoomed in farther. This one is zoomed in farther. This one is zoomed in farther. This one you did not zoom in as far. Incorrect. They are all the same zoom. So why does this one look like it's dropped back into the background and has a smaller angular size? Not because I changed anything. It's Mistress Ætherband. She is a little minx, So the same thing with this. They're all the same focal length. But look at the level of the water here. Look how high up, right? You tell me, or now, see, this is what blows my mind. This is the image. When I go out tomorrow, let's say, and I set up and I take a snapshot, actually before I even look, if I look out with my eye, these images are at my eye level. As I'm looking out, this is 5-6 miles away, and I'm just looking straight ahead. I don't have to raise my eyes up. I don't have to lower my eyes to see it. I just look out straight ahead. It's in my field of view, straight ahead of me. So these are all at my eye level. So what that means is that if you guys, what is that called? That old school picture looking device where you put, it's like you remember those shoot.
Like you look into the binoculars and move the picture?
Yes.
The viewfinder?
Yeah. It's the old school viewfinders. I used to look at them with Snoopy and Charlie Brown and Bugs Bunny and stuff. And
Viewmaster?
Yeah, but that's the toy. But what Zach described, right?
Stereograms, or what they were originally.
Yeah.
Like a parlor thing.
Right.
A Tool album that came out that had that built into it sitting right behind me, but it's hard to show on the camera.
Yeah, but you could put a photograph, a double paned photograph, one for each eye, like looking through binoculars, and then your eyes make it a single image. But then you could slide it forward and backward through the glass, and it would magnify and diminish. That's what the Ætherband does to this. So everything will always be at your eye level, but it sometimes is zoomed in. Because sometimes I go out and I can see this red roof house larger than it was the day before with my naked eye. So the atmosphere is a lens. It's a magnifying lens. It's a 3-dimensional field of view adjuster. And it sometimes is farther back, sometimes it's closer to you. So, like,
Have you ever tried to overlay those 3 pictures you had up just before?
I'm trying to get better at that, Lucas. I'm not the best at that, and I'm really lazy. But I'm trying to do that.
Make them opaque and then overlay them. Actually see the difference.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what it would show exactly, but it just occurred to me.
Yeah, I think actually in the video that we're going to look at real quick in a minute after I stop geeking out, I did do a little bit of that in the video. But let me go back to my point that I was making here with looming, okay? Now, the other thing that I understood in all of this is that if these kinds of phenomena happen
Don't make me do it.
I know. If these kinds of phenomena happen at 1 mile, 3 miles, 5 miles, 9 miles, 12 miles, because that's the range of field of view that I have in this area. The farthest field that I have is 12 miles away. Okay. If these phenomena happen at those distances and it's not Earth curve, then when you're looking 20 miles away and you have these phenomena, it's not Earth curve. Ever. Ever. But in the heliocentric model, when these scientists back in the 1700s were making these observations with their naked eye, and they saw the limit to the water, and they believed that the Earth was curved, they just married the two ideas. They're seeing the edge of the Earth right here. So then how do you account for the fact that you can see the shoreline, okay? These little white smudges right here, those are the houses, okay? Gentlemen and Cammie, the houses are right here in front of you. Everything that you see right here in this image is right here. Everything. Okay? But looming, according to them, is right now, what looming now has done is the looming has dropped the background farther back and stretched out the distance and flattened it out so you can see it. You can't see that distance here, can you? No. Like Lucas said, if I overlaid these, you could see then how far away this water would go past this, right? Or from here, you could see if I overlaid this one on top, and if I put these two buoys on top of each other and then overlaid it, you would see the water, up here.
Yeah, boy.
Okay. So, let me read to you from William Carpenter's 100 Proofs That the Earth is Not a Globe. This book is, I did my first reading on my Facebook this morning. I did a Coffee Sods reading on this. And point number 7, shout out to Brandon Toy of Brandon's show where Bob is guesting right now. This whole week on his show, he's been going through these proofs. And we did this one the other night, and it totally just clicked with me because look right here, Chesapeake Bay. Okay? So, here we go. Is this big enough? Should I make it bigger? I'll make it a little bit bigger. All right, so number 7. If we take a trip down the Chesapeake Bay in the daytime, we may see for ourselves the utter fallacy of the idea that when a vessel appears hull down, as it is called, it is because the hull is behind the water. For vessels have been seen and may often be seen again, presenting the appearance spoken of. And away, far away, beyond those vessels, and at the same moment, the level shoreline with its accompanying complement of tall trees towering up in perspective over the heads of the hull-down ships. Since then, the idea will not stand ground when the facts rise up against it, and it is a piece of the popular theory. The theory is a contemptible piece of business. and we may easily wring from it a proof that the Earth is not a globe. Okay? Now, what that means with regard to the images that I have right here is, if there were a boat past this horizon, we would not see the hull. That is what he called hull down. Where's the hull? It's down behind the curve. That's why you can't see it. Okay, so if this were, this is what point 7, this is what proof number 7 is. And I have images of these. I can show you these images with boats in the band where you can't see the hull. If it's true, we had a sailboat. I might as well just get a sailboat real quick, guys. Talk amongst yourselves.
Gunner. My rats, no.
You stupid bastards.
I wasn't gonna be ugly, Zach. We're trying to
It's
be
not a
TFR.
sailboat.
Trying to be TFR friendly.
What's
A
that book? Is
schooner
is that
is a
an old
sailboat.
book? Is it?
I'll put the link in. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's from 1885.
Yeah,
It was
please,
actually an address to the Johns Hopkins University.
Oh.
Dun dun dun.
and I've been digging a minute, still trying to find that picture up of the guy I have going over the mini ramp in the boat. But I did share a picture I've had, I don't know how long now, a minute or two, that has another magic floating boat in it for you guys on Skypes, and you'll see it eventually. So check it out.
Of course, when I want to find a picture of a boat to show you, I can't remember where I've got them. So give me a second and let's see.
I know, that's me
pull
too,
them up.
Travis. Don't feel bad. I have so much stuff that when I need it, I can't find it. And then
I got it.
find it when I don't need it, of course.
This one isn't as great as I'd like it to be, but it is what it is. Okay, so excuse me. Here we have a sailboat. Where's the hull? All right. Now, again, this is zoomed in. So imagine this is what you can see with your naked eye, how much smaller and singular this image would be. You can only see the sail, and you can see the limit of the water. So you're going to think that this is the entire sail because you're going to see all of the white.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
And you're not going to see the hull. So these knuckleheads from the 1700s making these observations and seeing half of a boat think the other half is behind the curve. But what they don't realize is that half the boat they're seeing is a mirage. This entire sail is not 100% physical. It is 2/3 physical and 1/3 mirage. And right here where the yellow line is what is called the fold line, or as I prefer, and it's a term that's acceptable, this is the vanishing line. Why do they call it the vanishing line, you wonder? Because the hull is vanished. It's gone. Where did it go? It's not behind the curve, because we know and understand that this water continues to go all the way to where this boat is on the water. This boat is on the water. That means that the hull of the sailboat is right here. Everything about it, everything right here. So the hull of the sailboat is compressed, right? Now, if there were a person standing on the deck, it's possible you might see a little black dot that's their head, but right now there's not. And I have other photos where I can show you what looks to be like people standing in the air, fishing out here in the middle of the Chesapeake Bay. Where's the boat? Are they standing on the water? Where'd the boat go? The boat's right there in front of you, but you can't see it because the obstruction is always refraction, every single time. all the time, every time. So this image right here, when my video finishes processing, let me see where it's at. I got 73%. I go through this a bit, but everything under this yellow line, is a mirage. Okay, so you can see this landscape here is mirrored right here. Okay, you guys see this distorted image that's right here?
Yeah.
Yep.
What do you think that is?
I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Okay. Now I have this in video, so you would be able to see this in real time, and I think it would be easier for you to determine what that is.
Is it somehow a mirage of the top of that ramp in the distance? The water ramp? That other line of the water behind this first line of the water?
Right here, you mean? Right here?
Let me find my...
what do you mean by ramp, if you can? I'm going to go...
where you were at, because when I got to the picture to see what you were pointing at, you were pointing to this. Show me what you want me to see again. What are you asking again? Show me.
The last thing that I was asking is down here.
That little gray thing, yeah. So to me, that gray thing is somehow those little like ramps into the distance. The water does. We've created now there. We're not we, but there's a creation of somehow the sky mirage thing happening too. Like you can see that the sail. Where's my pointer? Hang on.
Is it more water?
Go ahead. I'm going to step away real quick to get some more water. I'll be right back.
Go ahead. What I'm going to show here. Where's my little arrow I used? That was nice and straight. So this. And, oh man, that's got my name there. I don't want that. Why does it show my name there? We'll clear that. Okay, do you just see my mouse? Is that a thing? Are you seeing that?
No, I seen the line you drew though.
Yeah, I guess I'll draw a line. Okay, so you see where here, oh, now the line will draw. My goodness, what a fun time. Maybe if I put a straight line without an arrow. There we go. So you see from here, oops, and then right here. That, oh, sorry, that little segment of the boat.
All right, I'm back.
Okay, so that little segment of the boat that's being reflected, I think, is like that's happened twice now, if that makes any sense. So where the vanishing line you have is yellow, that's where the biggest one's happening. But at that little red line I made in the top of that gray thing, it's happened again. Is that making any sense? That's why you're seeing sky there, and that's why you're seeing that weird gray here that looks like the top of this wave again almost, but it's not. It's just the top of another wave that somehow now we see atmosphere here. Okay, I'm going to get all these lines out of the way. Whew. So what is it?
So the water that we see in the foreground, you see this little tiny white cap, right? The water is reflecting the light, and you got white, right? So we've got an active surface here. These are waves that are rising and falling, rising and falling. Okay. In this area of the mirage, we're dealing with distance and angle. So as I said before, if we had a person on the deck and they were tall enough, we would see their head. And then if they dropped their keys and bent down, their head would go bye-bye. It'd go bye-bye. What you're seeing here are waves breaking the band. The waves are high enough to break the mirage, and then they'll go down and disappear, come up, and it's going across this way. So right here, you don't see any of the waves. Guess why? There's a trough there. And guess why you see a mirage here in front of them? There's a trough there. The water is lower at that point, so the mirage is kicking in. And at this point, the wave's high enough. And not only that, but this is a mirage itself, because this part of the wave, which is the crest, is mirrored right here. And this part's mirrored right here. And this part's mirrored right here. And you can actually see the greater than sign right here. You see that greater than sign? Right here?
Yeah.
That is a telltale sign of a inferior mirage. And I can show it to you right here. So you have the landscape right here. The landscape comes down to a point and then back out in the mirage. That's a greater than sign. Happens all the time. And interestingly enough, it seems only to happen as a greater than sign. Like there's another one right here. Comes down right here and goes back. So when you have this greater than sign, that axis right here, that the angle point, the fulcrum, right?
Yep.
That's where the mirage begins.
Yep.
Okay? The mirage begins right here. So then if we carry this all the way over right here, this is where the mirage begins for the house. So we're not seeing all of this water and the shoreline. You see the shoreline right there? You see how beautiful this shoreline is right here? Look how big that is. It's right here in a very small acute angle. And that's why you can't see it.
So is that greater than sign that you're talking about? Is that based on sort of where the sun is as well? Has that got anything to do with that?
I don't know. That's a great question. That is an absolutely fantastic question. So what that would mean is, right, if this image on the left was, if I was able to take a video of this and we could watch, and actually I do have a pretty nice video of this. I'm not sure, I'd have to go back to the email I don't know. Anyway, I've got this same image in transition on video. And what I mean by that is if you look right here where the house is one solid unit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you've got the house right here, but here the image is a solid image. There's no line right here. Right? You understand what I mean?
No, can't see it. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess what I mean to say is we can't see the porch. You can't see the ground or the porch, but we have a solid phenomenon where the inverted image is below the erect image. This is the erect image. This is the mirage. And there's no demarcation here. It just blends together. I have a video where this breaks up and gets blurry, and you start to see a little bit of the porch. You can see the windows, come in and out, and then it disappears and goes away. Like something was going on right there. So it does break up, but I don't know why. Now, here's where the science goes. Are you ready for this? Andrew Thomas Young, who is the preeminent go-to guy for the likes of Rumpus primarily. But Andrew Thomas Young is an astrophysicist who is an expert in the field of astronomical refraction. So he basically deals with looking at the astronomical horizon, which is up in the sky beyond the horizon over water. But he also deals with all of this stuff. And I've got tons of interactions on my channel where I read through his writings and talk through them, but also use my own footage. Because the thing that bothers me, gentlemen, I'm going to bring this up real quick, is he draws pictures. Okay? He draws pictures. And this picture here, I'm going to open this in a different folder. Or I'm in a different application. Okay. This picture inserted right here is this here, but I've inserted an image of my own. Because he's talking about a nearby target with no mirage. But he draws a picture. And I emailed him. I said, Dr. Young, why do you draw pictures? Why don't you show a real photograph so that we can then look at the transition from one thing to the next? But this is the sleight of hand. This is the misdirection of this field. They can only draw their magic. They can't ever show it to you. What are you doing,
Yep.
Walt? Okay, this right here, these are rays of light going out. This little point right here is where this is supposed to be, or this is an orthographic view. This is an egocentric view. This is what you would see looking straight on, just like you're looking to see in the red roof house right here. Okay.
I'm sorry, not interrupting you at all. I'm trying to emphasize and help from what I told you yesterday. We were talking about that both of us kind of clicked on is this different angle, different height, different things of. So if you can see it at all, can you see it at all? Can you see it at all?
I can see the piece of paper, but I don't know what you're trying to do.
See what's on it? Can you?
No.
That's right. So if I turn those lines like, oh, crap, it worked just a second ago on my phone. It won't work on here.
Oh yeah, there's a word.
It says flat Earth, but I'm not making it work because of my lighting.
Nice.
So you've seen those in books. You've seen those
yeah.
growing up as kids. Everybody, think about that idea. So at different angles, you get different. You know, it's a word. It says flat Earth. It's just badly, crudely thrown together. Sorry.
Okay.
I thought it would help, but go look them up. You know, they're in the books and
that would be an interesting correlation. That would be an interesting correlation in this discussion, no doubt. But my point is that this diagram that he draws up here in his world represents reality, and I say, can you show me that in reality? Can you show me this in because I don't know what this is. Is this a dog? What is this? I don't see reality like this. Oh, this is what this is what the rays of light are doing, Travis. This is exactly what's happening out there. Yo, show me that. Show me how you measure this 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, blah, blah, blah. You can't do it. They can't do it. Okay? Anyway, so he has these in stages. Here is no mirage, and you can see the horizon past the object. And so then I try to put something in that's correlative to it and put in a real live picture. And then in each of his stages, he then goes to the next stage. I mean, I guess this could be my whole presentation. I don't have to show the video now because I'm talking about this. So, you know, whatever. So now this is now the next stage where I've got an inferior mirage. He has an inferior mirage. The horizon now behind him is gone. So now, gentlemen, this is Earth curve right here because the horizon's gone. Remember the horizon that we saw just a minute ago? Let me just do this.
So that's what he's trying to say. It's Earth curve. That's yeah.
Okay. So in this image on the left, the horizon is past this image. And in the image on the right, the horizon is now right at the image.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So for him, that becomes, oh, well, in both of them, the horizon is Earth curve. Okay? In both of them, the horizon is Earth curve. But trying to think of how to say what I wanted to say. So now the horizon is in front of this object, but it's still Earth curve. Okay, so here for me, oh, this is the idea. This is what I was going to say. I'm sorry. This in this image, the viewer has changed his position. Okay.
To do what? Was he standing on his head? How did he change his position? He just changed it. He stuck an arm up.
No, he's either gotten closer. He's either gotten closer to it or he's gotten farther away. Okay, but he's the one who's creating this mirage. Okay, the problem is I can create the same thing, but I don't move. Okay, so he sees these things in reality, but when he sees the limit of the mirage, he thinks that's Earth curve. Okay, so now we get to the next step.
So he's just basically changing the parameters of the, of the control rather than, calling it for what it is. So he's just being a bit sly with that sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay. So now going, where did that come from? That was weird. Let me get back my first one. Okay. So now if I could do real quick what Lucas was talking about with an overlay, right? I could show you this image, right? Because all of these triangles are the same image, except that this one is in a more developed inferior mirage. Okay. And here the horizon is behind, right? The horizon, if we put the triangle and matched it up, you see where the horizon would be? See how far away it would be, right? And if you did it this way, and kept the horizon in the same spot, right? So see the horizon's right here, and you keep that horizon right here, and you keep that horizon right here, boom. That's exactly where the horizon is in this photo. This is a false horizon. What's creating that false horizon? The mirage. So where is the horizon? Why don't we see the horizon like we did before? Because it's right here behind the mirage. The horizon. So if we saw a boat passing behind, we would see it flying in the air. It's right here on the water. The boat's right there on the water. This is why you need to have real photos. If this were, let's say, an oil platform, and then you had a boat go behind it, you would see the boat on the water. Nothing big here to see, no big deal here. But on this one, the boat would be up in the air and distorted. Well, what the hell? How's that boat get up in the air? It's not. The water's right there. But they don't interpret this correctly. They misinterpret the line that they see as Earth curve every single time. Every single time. So in each of these photos, then I have another step of this mirage. Is this now? See, it opens it up in different files. That's really weird. Let's see. I have that one. This is the third one. Okay, so this is the next extreme. Okay, so now this is the next. So I'm gonna put my horizon right here because here's where the water ends a little bit. But you got a bird right there, and the bird is in an inferior mirage. Okay. Now, if this triangle were the house, and I kept the house at the same elevation, right? The horizon is going to be higher. Because guess what? That's exactly where the shoreline is. That's exactly where the shoreline caramba. That's exactly where the shoreline should be, right here. And if you go right here, That's exactly where the shoreline should be. So if I could impose the triangle, the original triangle, and overlay it, guess what it would do? Here is the edge of the triangle. It's right here, right where the cursor is. The edge of the triangle is right here. And the horizon originally is right here. So now if you saw a boat up here, there would actually be higher. It would be higher up in the air. Well, that's kind of crazy. What's going on with that? Nothing. Boats don't fly, you silly goose. Right? And then this is the final extreme photo here.
Silly goose.
Okay, with this one, now it's even more extreme. So that, put it right there still, put it right there still. It's still matched up, the tip of the house. This is the tip of the house right here. I guess I could just do the original one that I had, right? Let me go right here. Do I still have that up? That's the second one. Okay, hold on real quick. Let me get the original one. I think this is what I was doing. I can't remember what I was doing right now. Okay, so the tip of the house, tip of the house, tip of the house, tip of the house is right there. Oh, no, wait. I wanted to get the original. This one. Okay, so this is the original one where there's no mirage. All right, so this is the original one where there's no mirage, and it's not going to be to scale because it's obviously a drawing and whatnot, but it's just think about it that way. So here's the tip of the house. Here's the tip of the house, right? So every time you have that matched up, right? See how high the horizon is? Here's the horizon right there, okay? The horizon is right here, but this is like the sailboat. People see the sail and they don't see the hull, so they think the hull's down here behind the water. But when you take these pictures yourself and you are not the one that's changing, it has to be every single time a result of the refraction. The horizon always is in a different position depending on the strength of the mirage. Because in each of these images, the horizon never matches up to the same horizontal plane. So, yeah. Anyway, so what's happening here is a multiple variable, right? There are multiple variables going on there.
Definitely variables for damn sure.
Right? So if you think about this too, you see the buoy right here? I lined both, the buoys are pretty close to being lined up, bottom to bottom. This one actually looks a little bit taller than this one. But look at the angle to the shoreline. You see the distance that's covered right here? Right?
Yeah.
Look how short the distance is right here, bump to the limit of the water. So that's a little bit like what Walt was saying. So here's what I'm going to suggest with Walt when he put up the flat Earth picture, right? This is the image of the flat Earth picture. This spells out flat Earth right here. Okay? Now, how could we change this into this? Anybody know? If I were taking pictures on this day and wanted to change this image to this image, how could I do it?
Increase your angle.
Anybody else?
Get higher. That's my answer for everything.
Get higher. Can you take me high enough? Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, yeah. I was trying to think of another way. I was like, I don't know, Trav.
Well,
You
yeah,
like anybody else?
as
I
you
was like,
said, with the angling of that, the word that I
Yep.
crudely.
See how that was so appropriate too, Walt. That was a great little prop to bring in. But that's exactly it. You would have to change your elevation drastically to then look into the distance. But for the baller, this is Earth curve. And they're going to go, well, of course, that's what you have to do to see over the curve. You have to elevate yourself. No, because I wouldn't have to elevate myself here. I'm looking straight ahead to the shoreline. I wouldn't have to elevate myself to see over the curve. No. But this is a different phenomenon. Thank you. So anyway, Lucas, you want to say goodbye?
Oh yeah, I just got a bail, so yeah, sorry about that. I'll keep
not at all.
listening.
Not at all.
Oh,
Not
man,
at all.
thank you.
The hazards of living in the future.
That's true. All right, guys,
you have
love
a
you.
great day, man. Watch out for those
Man.
stampedes.
Yep,
Give Alex
take
our
care.
love too.
Yeah.
Remember,
Well,
Lucas, you're setting precedents for all of us on what Saturday's going to be like, so make it a good one, okay?
You know, it'll be good. It'll be good. So,
Oh wait, you know what, Lucas? Do you have 5 minutes?
yeah, sure.
Okay, let me play that video that we were talking about before. Okay, now, so again, these two arrows show the starting point of this video. It's sped up. It's 5 minutes, and so just watch. Ready?
Okay.
Yes.
See,
Ah,
we
That is not supposed to happen.
we got buffering. Okay, hold on. Let me.
if you're like me, you have 23 tabs open. Exactly. And
Tax
yeah,
the system. Tax
it
the
up, brother.
system.
I got a 4-core processor, man.
Hey, dude, I know the feeling. Every time I do it now, I'm like, wait, this is all new. How is this happening again? Yeah. Ride it hard, brother. Ride it hard.
Let me close some of these windows down. But
Excuse me.
okay.
I did see some Peter Gabriel over there on the side, though. Good music. Good music.
Oh yeah. I listen to a lot of reactions to videos. Oh, did I close that out? I did.
Cover.
Wait. Okay, wait. Here we go. Here we go.
Got it. There we go.
All right. I got to go back now. It's still gonna buffer.
So
You know what? I'm just gonna do it a little bit quick. Okay. So I'm just gonna take it. I'm just gonna drag it. Okay. So here we go at the top, right?
Do it 0.25 speed or whatever it is. John would be so happy.
Oh, okay.
Or whatever you do. I don't know how you do it, John. Help us. 0.125, is that it? Or
Trav, if you put it at 0.5 speed and then just scroll through it twice as fast, you'll be
Oh,
fine.
I see. Okay.
Wait, what?
Okay.
No, I don't know about all that. I just was trying to make him play faster.
Is that a trick, Josh?
I was gonna say, you're doing some kind of
I think I understand what he says.
alchemy.
We'll
You
see.
better get back.
Okay, so here we go. Here come the arrow markers. Okay, this left arrow at the top is lined up with that tower. Now, my camera would have to be moving laterally and up because the entire field of view is dropping down to the right.
Mm.
Yeah, wait till he shows you the comparison, where it started and where it ends.
Now, don't forget about this arrow down here. It's now elevated above the shoreline. Now, gentlemen, this is sped up. This is happening in 5 minutes, whereas
Is the tower moving as well? Sorry. Up to the left?
Yeah.
At
The
one
other
point-
arrow?
It's all
Yeah, at one
the whole
point it
image
was
is compressing itself.
Yeah, it wasn't touching the.
Oh.
Yeah, it's nuts watching this happen.
Okay. Now, again, gentlemen, in real time, this took 27 minutes to happen. You think your eyes are going to follow this? This is 6 miles away, and it's going to be much smaller. There's no way you would notice this subtle change in location with your naked eye.
No, that's correct. Yep.
Not only that, but the shoreline is compressing. When we get farther along, this roof is going to be smashed down here. You're going to have no space here. No space.
Wow, look how much that thing dropped.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing to see the difference between the arrow and the tower there from where it was.
So have you taken to changing your elevations and just trying to shoot around the Ætherband?
You might as well try to tame the wind.
You guys are writing a song.
The area that I'm in, Josh, I don't have an elevated option.
But what if you didn't have to elevate it much? What if,
again,
rather than elevate it, what if you de-elevated? What if you just drop down a couple feet?
I was going to say the very thing.
Could you shoot under the Ætherband? Or
No.
shoot over the Ætherband?
No. It's all everything in front of you is the Ætherband. That's why it's the Ætherband. It is the entire field of view or a smaller, minute portion.
I wonder if the sun's position
Yes.
is really affecting this. So
Yes.
the rate of movement is correlated to the sun.
Yeah, but you can see it's an overcast day. So it's not direct sunlight, right? It's ambient.
Mm-hmm.
But what I want to say, or it's filtered, right? What I want to say right now is the reason why it's 30 minutes later is because it took 27 minutes for the previous amount of time, and I did stills in between. So I took stills and then I started shooting again. So then these are now relocated with new arrows. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So now look at that pavilion on the right. See how much less space there is between it and
the roof's
ground?
nearly hitting. Yep.
Yeah. If I went back to the very beginning of this, you could have seen Hank on the shoreline. You could have seen him. That's how great that shot was. Okay, here's my little attempt at doing your overlay. That's before and after.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a huge amount of shift for sure.
We all know Hank's not on the shoreline. Hank's in the kitchen with me with the chicken. Come
Oh,
on.
look how much- well, naturally.
I'm not buying him.
But dude, look at the pole.
Look how much more difference that
crazy.
pole is compared, like elevation height wise.
Yeah.
But the house moved a lot more than the pole did.
Exactly, right? It's not uniform.
Not at all.
And that peaked house moved less than the
Yes.
squared off house. You know.
Yes. Yeah. Look how dynamic this field is,
So
gentlemen.
it's like it's not just compressing, it's morphing. I mean, that's the only word to say. It's not just compressing, nor is it just expanding. It's doing all of the above.
And what's interesting too is one of the things that Lucas brought up about the sun's position and whatnot is I think at this point right now, the transition has slowed down. It's almost not moving at all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But that's the one thing that I get criticized is, well, Travis, you're doing that. I mean, Erebus said he made a hit piece on me. Travis is a liar because he's the one moving the camera. And I'm thinking, okay, just think about that, please.
You know how hard it is? It'd be
Do you-
impossible to move it that slightly.
Yeah, over
Impossible.
27 minutes. Over 27
Yeah.
minutes. Yeah,
Nobody
Right.
could do that.
exactly. That's how
Tap
dishonest.
a P900
Yes,
and the thing just flies.
that's how dishonest these knuckleheads are.
Yeah, you're just the greatest cameraman on earth, Travis. That's
So
what it is.
So in this one now, right? In this one, you take that shot and it looks pretty close to where the water line is at the same spot. So now I've got both the before on the left and the after playing at the same time, and you can see the left one drop. And the right one's not dropping anymore. Like I said, it's like that phase is over. And I don't make any commentary in this. Actually, I play Pink Floyd's song "The Great Gig in the Sky."
Oh yeah, they'll take this video off the earth, and we'll get another channel down. They're one of the big ones that always go after you. So there was a guy, I'm trying to remember his name. I even met him and kind of hung out with him. Not Travis Walton. That was the other guy. Man, come on. The Gulf Breeze sightings back in the day, UFO stuff. Okay, so this guy took 2 Polaroid cameras, mounted them on 2x4, literally, worked at it, tested it, and created stereo camera to create those kind of things you're talking about earlier with the view of getting the 3D effect. So I'm wondering if someone could take, like, obviously you don't have 2 P900s floating around, but 2 like cell phones with decent cameras of comparable, sensors and pixels and whatnot, and just trying to rig something up like that idea to create I know you can buy one, but to get this idea of getting the different, maybe even doing up and down, not just left and right for the stereo effect, but a higher and lower one on a 2x4 to get the same shot, same time at 2 different heights on the same.
All right. So I've done that. I've done that. But the amount of time that it takes to go back over my footage, I haven't had time to review it. And what I did when I was back in California, actually, I did a tandem shot. So what I did was I took Sondra 1. I named my cameras after Coolpix P900 or Sondra Coolpix P900. How does that go? How does her channel?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Coolpix P900.
Yeah. Anyway, so I named my first camera after her as Sondra, and then that camera took a dive into the Chesapeake Bay, and I didn't know if I was going to be able to resuscitate her. So I bought another one and named her Sondra 2. Or Sondra the second. So what I did in California was I put them in tandem, and I put the forward camera zoomed in, and I put the second camera zoomed out, because I wanted to see if you could see this kind of transition in the zoomed out as much as you could with the zoomed in. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
Okay.
Did you say anything?
I haven't had enough time to go over the footage yet. So that's a great segue for me to pitch my GoFundMe, because part of my hiatus, where I'm not working right now, is the only way for me to process this information is not to be occupied with driving a truck for 12 hours a day. Because, guys, when I get done driving a truck for 12 hours a day, I do not want to come home and do this. Not only do I not want to, I often can't, because I'm just wiped out mentally. I just don't even do it. So what I did was I said, okay, look, I've got time right now. I can do this in terms of time. I can do this in terms of money. I'm going to start to try and write a proposal to get published somewhere, somehow. So the GoFundMe is in order to supplement my livelihood right now so that I have the time to at least get that much done. And that's an opportunity for people to, if they can, contribute. I've already got almost, well, I think it hasn't moved yet. So I've got $1,213 that people have donated so far. And so I'm still keeping the GoFundMe is out there. I've asked for $2,500. That covers travel expenses. I plan on going back to Pontchartrain for a couple of days. I plan on going to the Bonneville Salt Flats for a couple of days. And, that's a way for you guys to, not you guys, but anybody out there who can contribute to help. And so I can pull up that.
Drop that link, man. I'm struggling here because I'm still digging through folders trying to find that boat.
That link is in the description and on the screen right now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
So I'll stop sharing because I basically have talked myself out of talking.
Share it.
All right, guys. On that note, I wish you the best of luck with that endeavor. And that was thanks for the
Lucas.
presentation.
Thanks.
And explaining that to us was really good. Thank you. All right. Hopefully we'll
Lucas.
talk again soon.
Take care, Lucas.
We definitely will. We definitely will. As far as you and he, I mean, we all will again. Speaking for you, sir, my bad. But definitely. As we were talking about on Wednesday, that's what this takes is different people looking at this, contributing their thoughts, their ideas, their aha moments to it all, and building on what we bring forth.
Yeah, the other thing that I want to say too is that this is not a solitary effort. I cannot do this on my own. Joe Mama helped out, but I need 5 Joe Mamas. I need 10 more cameras. I need other people with Joe Mama on the boats, right? So don't think of this as, just about Travis, because the GoFundMe is going to be a cushion so if I reach 2,500, I'm going to make it 5. If I reach 5, I'm going to make it 10, because this is a year-long endeavor. My dream is that we get people who can not work for a year, sustained by the community. Think of this as like, think of what everybody did for the Globe Live Tour. This is the Globe Live Tour. I'm asking you guys to help. Okay, we need to get out of YouTube. It's not going to work. It hasn't been working. And I've been saying this for the past 2 years for someone else to do it. I'm like, someone out there needs to do this. Guys, I don't know anybody who's doing it. Does anybody out there, anybody in the audience, know anyone who is working to write for publication? Raise your hand. If you know somebody, I don't. So guys, I'm doing it. I'm stepping up. I've walked away from working. I'm my bank account's dwindling down. So it's not just about me. It's a long-term investment. I don't know that we're going to get a grant from the government to research this stuff to debunk the globe lie, right? They're not going to fund us. We got to do this on our own. And if somebody says, you know what, I would love to do that, but man, I can't walk away. how am I going to survive? The community.
Yeah. Yeah, you're going to be in Greensville, right?
Yeah. I'm going to try to set up a booth. I'm going to try to get some merch there. Merch is, again, not for me. It's going to go straight into the kitty. It's going to go straight into the pot and be for, gas money and, whatever comes up as I go across the United States again. Flat tires, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I am going to be in Greenville, and I'd love to.
Are you going to be there the 26th on the Friday?
Yeah.
Or you're just coming out awesome?
Oh, no. I'm getting there as soon as I can. I'm not missing out on you guys partying. No way. No way.
Yeah, I'm going to bring my guitar for sure. That'll be fun. I don't know if I'll get the nerve to play it, but we'll see.
What? Come on, man.
Yeah, you know me. I'm shy. I hear all my little mistakes.
Yeah, for sure.
I've gotten past that point, though. You know, we're not going to get into playing guitar now. But yeah, guitar will be there. It'll be fun. Have a bunch of harmonicas if anybody. Oh, shit.
ODD is coming. It's going to be good to see him again. I'm excited, Matt.
I'm excited about Chief Crow.
And the flat earth worms.
Oh my gosh, his last live stream was absolutely phenomenal.
And let's not forget Jason's debut.
Yeah. First time Jason Lindgren will be playing.
Oh yeah?
Ever live, yeah.
Oh,
his own
wow.
original.
Fucking A.
Wow. Okay. Everybody I think was thinking it was gonna be Mike Williams, but yeah, that'd be great.
And then Zach and I get to play. We're going to be bringing all of our toys, or at least most of them, a good portion of them, and showing people Van de Graaff generator, electricity, fluorescence.
Yeah, the Van de Graaff will be set up with the ionic wind demonstration, to where you can crank it yourself and feel the wind that comes off of this little nail, because all the potential gathers at the tip, and it makes a real strong electric potential between your hand and the nail, and the wind just rushes at your hand and you can feel it. It's crazy. It's very noticeable.
I will be oops, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, every time I show it to somebody, they're thinking, okay, I don't know what it is, but they put their hand in there and their eyes get real big, like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that.
It's not, do you feel it or not? It's a strong wind. It's not only a strong wind, but it's got a sparkly feel to it. It's a neat feeling. Everybody needs to do it. I'll be bringing some calcite and demonstrating double refraction and a possible solution to the lunar wave. Doing all kinds of just fun stuff hands-on where you get to touch and try it yourself. So we love doing it. We've done it before. We'll be doing it again here at Solar Return, and we hope to see everybody there.
Yeah, we're going to be bringing a floating magnet. That should be pretty neat. We're going to be making it. Hopefully we'll have the video out and everything before the event of us doing it. Karen Beasy and Ted are going to come over and we're going to melt some bismuth.
And if we have any left over, we're going to make some crystals and maybe show everybody some crystals we've made, which bismuth crystals, they're negative crystals. They're really, really amazing looking. I've done it before, but it's been a lot of years.
Inside-out pyramids.
Yeah, they're negative crystals. They're very, very cool. I had a beautiful, beautiful specimen of it, and I'm not quite sure. I'm trying to remember. I think it was Robin Sheila Skiba, which would be a good place. But somebody along the way at one of the conferences was so fascinated with it. It had to go home with them. And that's what I find with a lot of my rocks. And my favorite ones is people go gaga and the rocks want to go. Wow. They're like, wow, these people really love me. I want to go.
Well, that crystals always find their owners.
They do. And I'm almost sure it's Robin Sheila Skiba, but if not, it was
just calling them out.
Yeah. They're like calling them out saying, we want to go here. But yeah, they do. They collect, they want to go, and you can't help but like send them on its way and say, have a good time. True story. You know it, Walt.
I always wound up with a rock or two in my pocket, it seems.
I don't know if anybody was interested because I wasn't watching the chat. Did you guys see anybody have any questions or anything like that? Or if anybody has questions that they thought about or whatever, put them in the chat, tag me. I'm here. I can look and see. I'd be happy to just answer any questions if you have any.
There were definitely a lot of commentary throughout it all. I was definitely wrapped up in it. I mean, there was every time you were asking questions about which picture was what, people were giving their answers in chat and stuff. And I'm sorry, man, we should have dropped you the link to the YouTube chat, I guess. My apologies.
Oh no, I have it. I mean,
oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I just
because I know we left you out of it just like earlier, and I didn't see if anybody dropped it for you. So
yeah. I was just.
I've totally given up on finding the picture. It must be on my external hard drive. I finally realized, and that's 2 terabytes. So I'm not digging through that for damn sure. So
Yeah.
I will find it at some point and send it over to you.
I tell you what, I'm excited about too is there's a brewery opening up St. Patrick's Day here in the town where I live, and they are called the Battery Island Brewing Company. And Battery Island is one of my observations that I take. I have 5 points of observations here on the bay, and that's one of them. So I have tons of photographs of this location. So I contacted them and I said, hey, you know, I think it would be great. You know, I've got some local pictures, a local artist here. You know, would you guys mind looking at, because some of this stuff is absolutely gorgeous. I call this particular image or this observation point my Monet shot.
I love it.
Yeah, because in the spring, well, it really all, but in the spring in particular, the colors are so incredible. It looks like a watercolor that Monet painted, in my opinion. And you can't see it with your naked eye. You would never see what I can show you with your naked eye. To me, I think that's absolutely priceless. And it's just beautiful. I just love it. I just stand there and just think, I love what I'm doing right now. Absolutely love it.
Well, here's a question from chat, even as we speak, from a guy named L.C. King. I wonder if electrical atmospheric charge changes how we see as well as temperature and air moisture, of course.
I would venture to say that is probably one of the most dynamic variables that they're not even considering. Because I don't think they know what the Smurf are talking about. When I read,
and it does it it's like 7 UTC PM. The Earth, that's like its high point of electric potential there in Greenwich, where it, like the Earth pulses, and it goes from the center out. So it might vary a little bit in, you know, maybe an hour or two, like on the real southern faraway places. But it's like, and it does it across the plane wide, as far as we're told. This pulse of energy, and it like, it's like a heartbeat, the Earth's heartbeat, pretty much. It like boom, and then it lowers by 4 a.m.
Currents.
And then
I'm sorry.
yeah, 4 p.m. it starts again, and the heartbeat starts going up, and then at 7 p.m. it peaks and starts dropping back down again. And as it gets further away, it doesn't make such a strong peak. It's more of like the wave is like flattening out a little bit. So it's like a water droplet almost. That's the way this electrostatic pulse, I guess you would call it. The electric field is just pulsing once a day. Yeah, they call it the Schumann resonance. It's the heartbeat of the Earth. It's wild. Now, I don't know if any of this is true. I haven't, you know, I don't have the gear to test all this stuff.
Well,
One of these days.
Cammie pointed out on the days it's really wonky on that, you can definitely tell it and feel it, and that's usually when I've had like some severe headaches and right. Thank you.
Yeah, just for that you go there and it is. It's crazy, isn't it? Yep, we are electrical beings. We are affected by it. I can't imagine it not hitting the optics as well. I know the magnetics definitely hit the optics, and I know especially, again, electricity induces a magnetic field, and magnetics definitely, like when colder, can produce an optical circling effect, and under different temperatures definitely have optical, you know, documented properties. So everything interacts, and nothing surprises me on that. It's how dynamic is it? Not is it dynamic? It's like look for all the pieces. It's wonderful. Bam.
So what's next, Trav? The money does come in and you have enough to get started and all that.
Well, I
What's gonna
have,
be
you know,
the first?
I have enough to be started right now, but it's in terms
Yeah, I
of
mean,
it's-
you've gathered the data for sure.
yeah, the data's here. Again, I need to formulate my thesis paragraph. Let me run my thesis by you guys real quick. It is created in such a way as to address the atmospheric refraction and optics for the scientific field without threatening the heliocentric model. It's just a straightforward statement of addressing optics. Okay, so I have 3 of them together. One of them does mention the Earth curve, but it doesn't have to imply flat Earth. So here's my first statement that I would make. I favor this one, but I'll give you all 3, and we'll just see maybe what people say. The number 1, my thesis is this: if the inferior mirage is not a vertical image, then there is distance between the limit of the mirage and the fold line for which account must be taken. And while I talked a bit about that in the presentation earlier, that actually is the discussion in the video that I made today that's just about done processing. So I'll say it again. It's a bit abstract. If the inferior mirage is not a vertical image, and I suppose I could possibly put that into a positive statement rather. If it is not a, or let me say this. No, I don't know how to do that right now. If the inferior mirage is not a vertical image, then there is distance between the limit of the mirage and the fold line for which account must be taken. The second thesis is, if the horizon is created by a phenomenon of refraction, then the horizon cannot be the result of Earth curve. Now, implicit in that is you can still have Earth curve, but it's not the horizon. Okay? The third is, if the horizon is created by a phenomenon of refraction, then boats apparently disappearing from the bottom up is the result of refraction.
I definitely like 2 better.
How's that? Why?
Well, first one, again, you have the negative statement, which can, I don't know, lead people to pick on it, I suppose. And the third one, I don't know, talking about the boats going over the horizon just screams flat Earth to me, but maybe that's just because it's me. And maybe in a different community, it's not going to be so apparent. But if I were to ever see that anywhere, I see flat Earth. But I do that with everything I look at.
All right, so I just had a brain think to put the first one into a positive. Here's the positive.
Okay.
If the inferior mirage image is along the x-axis, then there is distance between the limit of the mirage and the fold line for which account must be taken. And that is, again, addressing the fact that I have not personally seen anyone talking about the mirage being 3-dimensional. So they don't consider the x-axis. So you look out, you see height and you see width, but they don't think about distance. And that's what the video that I created today was pretty much focusing on. And because you guys like to go long, the video is ready. This is a very complex and abstract discussion. So for me, the more we talk about it, the more we see it, I think anybody out there in the chat right now who is interested in thinking along these lines, I need you. I need you. Help me. Help me help you.
Help me help you.
Right? All right, so this is going to be straight video, so I shouldn't have any buffering issues. So let me share my screen. Are we good, guys? Are you good with this?
Yep, I'm good.
Okay.
Absolutely, man. Please do.
Okay. Now I put this at high speed, so it's my voice is sped up because this was an hour presentation, and I cut it back to just about 30 minutes. Let me get ready to do this and bring the chat over here. And hopefully the whole processing thing worked out. So here we go. Okay. Let me,
Oh, it's in Russian.
It's in Russian.
Don't know how you did that. No, I think actually I have that AI voice generator does different languages, so we could probably start making Have No Sphere shows in different languages if I just copy and paste the.
Oh, that would be fun.
Don't we? We can do the subtitles. Yeah, the closed captions.
Is more. Okay, you ready? Could you hear that volume?
Maybe up just frog's hair.
Oh, there we go. Oh, I didn't know I could pass up 100%. What this video needs
take it to 11
is more Ætherband. Is that too loud?
No, I think that's good.
Shout out to Chris Berry. Chris Berry made this music for me.
You guys want to hear Hank talk? Well, tell her. Are you telling her? Where is it? Oh, now you're going to be all quiet.
The term I sniffed to account for the
because we're paying attention to him.
Effect
He doesn't
observed over distance, whether terrestrial or aquatic. Aether simply refers to the air and all its constituent elements which compose its nature. Band refers to that area of 3D space which contains the observation being made. This band can be as broad as the entire field of view or a smaller, isolated section. The Ætherband is the cause of every minute and alternating effect under the broad category of mirage. That is, Fata Morgana, inferior mirage, or superior mirage, or any other optical or atmospheric distortion or refraction or whatever the hell happens out there.
If those of you out there who are watching this show right now would not mind here, I'll skip this part. I already pitched. Right here. This is the venerable and esteemed Andrew Thomas Young. Just so you don't say I'm cherry picking or whatever, I'll just read the whole thing. You got this right here? Okay, I'm going to read this all for you. Okay. I don't have any whining globe flakes out there who can't handle the truth. A mirage model should reproduce not just an inverted image, but also its size and varying magnification. Oh, I'm sorry. You're saying that a mirage magnifies? That's what Andrew Thomas Young just said. As well as the transition between erect and inverted images. Until recently, inferior mirages have not been modeled correctly. The physicists who studied mirages did not know the actual temperature profile over warm surfaces, which seems to be understood only by boundary layer meteorologists. Okay, I'm gonna have to look that up. Who are these boundary layer meteorologists, right? So put that in there real quick and let it be, okay? Excuse me, sorry for coughing in here. Early mirage models used unrealistic polynomial profiles that allowed closed form solutions. The lower edge of an inferior mirage at sea forms the apparent horizon. Did you get that? Let's do this. The horizon is created by a refraction phenomenon, either with or without mirage. These are my terms right now, okay? These are my terms. I appreciate that honesty there, trivia master. Here is an obvious inferior mirage. The mirage is not vertical, but along the x-axis and includes the apparent sky to either side, I should say either side, of the buildings. This apparent limit to the water is not physical, but optical and the result of the conditions of the medium through which the observation is being made. Okay? So what I want to do right now is show you, okay, there's this. Okay, this is what you cannot see with your naked eye. You can't see it. You can't see this with your naked eye. Would you like to see what you see with your naked eye? Right there. You see that? Let me make that bigger. Okay. There's this. And there's this. Okay, there's this and there's this. Now, when you look out to the horizon with your naked eye, please tell me if you think you can see the inferior mirage. Okay? Anyone? Anyone? Bueller?
Anyone? Bueller? Bueller? Bueller?
Bueller? Do you think that your naked eye can see the inferior mirage that's out there? No chance. Damn straight no chance. So here comes the magic trick. There is an inferior mirage out on the horizon. This is an absolutely beautiful picture. Absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous. I have to find this in paint. Let's see. Is that in paint? Yes, this is in paint. Okay, so now we're going to go back to paint for a second. Let me bring up my chat window so I can see in case anybody makes a comment. Okay. All right, so let me do this. Okay. Okay. So the imperfections on that horizon prove it has been created by the inferior mirage. Yeah, yes, that's correct. I would say that's correct. Yeah. Let me go back to this. Let me go back to this image right here. Okay. Now the reality. Let's just pick. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit just for a little bit of clarity here. Okay. Right here in the middle, these two, this central object that you're looking at right here. If you are looking here with your naked eye, just real quick, that is New Orleans, and it is 28 miles away.
Yes, it is.
Okay, 28 miles. This is a vertical 90-degree observation. A vertical 90-degree observation, right? Buildings are built at 90 degrees, are they not? Now, to be sure, the walls can have angles, but the floors are level, right? You don't build a house, you don't build these buildings with uneven flooring. You don't do it. You don't do it. Am I right? Okay, this is the concept that I want you to see. This is the default that I think everyone has. When you see something in the distance and you know what reality is, you're like, yeah, that thing's just straight up and down. You just take it for granted, okay? However, because there's an inferior mirage, there's a point at which this observation is no longer 90 degrees, okay? So we're gonna break that down right now. This building here is 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees. Right here, ladies and gentlemen, is where the ground level of this building is. I think. Okay. So, but what I do know is that this is where the mirage starts. Okay, this is the fold line of the mirage. So what that means is that this. Let's do this. this section right here, that is not physical, okay? That's not physical. This section of this image, this section right here, is on the x-axis. It is on the x-axis, which means, ladies and gentlemen, that from this horizon, this angle, this degree of angle, is distance and height. You know, because the one thing that Rumpus and everybody else says is that whatever's missing in this building right here, no, let me not do that. Let me do a square. For this, maybe. All right? Whatever is missing in this building right here, they have a problem with this. They have a difficulty comprehending this. They'll say, "Oh, how can this much of the building be compressed in that?" I don't know how much it, or how it can. I'm just telling you that that's what's happening, right? So this is what the problem is with blink tests, is that the amount of magnification and refraction that is happening to a building, you know, let's see. Let me try to see how I can say this real quick. So this is like what B-Ball has, right? If you go to B-Balls, he's got a cityscape, and you can count the floors. So you know, now I don't know how many floors are down here. I don't know how many this is, right? How many, what space here is like 10 floors? How many floors is here? I don't know. So am I saying that the entire building is right here? Well, right now, I don't know what that building is and how high it is. So I'll say, yeah, sure. I'm good with that. I'm okay with that concept, right? Let's say the whole building is right here. That's fine with me. My point is, the image that you see with your naked eye is not the whole building. This is what the ballers want to do. The ballers want to say, the reason why we can't see the sailboat is because the bottom of the sailboat is behind water, okay? And I've already walked through my Shinola on this for the longest time. So, and I have to do it again, and I have to write it down, all right? So, Snowman, do you think the fold line would happen at ground level? No, no. Now, that would only be true if the ground level were elevated, right? So I can show you that with my red roof house. I can show you, because the red roof house is elevated, but it's on the ground. So if you, by ground level, Snowman, are you talking the shoreline or ground level? Because actually last night on Brandon's show that I hosted, we looked at footage from Pontchartrain where we talked about a little bit of this. So good question. He says, I guess it would happen above the ground level, allowing atmospheric influence. Yeah, but again, I would say you'd have to get at a higher elevation. You'd like to see infrared versions of these. Yeah, I'm of the persuasion. I can show you infrared pictures. Red Cloud, I can show you infrared pictures of the Anacapa Islands, and we could look at that. I don't believe that the infrared cuts through the mirage. Actually, I don't think that can happen, but that's just my opinion. Okay, but the point that I want you to understand is that the horizon here, right? If we put a boat on the horizon and we had the coordinates, we would know how far that boat is from this building. We would know how far the boat is from the shore, okay? So what I'm going to do right now is say that just for kicks and shiggles, that's where the ground is. That's where the ground is. Okay? So what that means then is there's the ground right here. That's the shoreline right here. Right here. So, but no, Travis, no. I see sky. Travis, there's sky right here. Yeah. There's a mirage. No, that's on the building, Travis. Travis, that's the building's mirage. Right. This is a mirage. This is a mirage. This is what is not understood. I have not seen anyone talking about this. And I would actually say that Andrew Thomas Young hit the concept on the head here, but he doesn't understand what he said. He doesn't, unless he does, and he's being dishonest, right? Because in my conversations with him, he's not a flat earther, and he's not open to flat earth, because the minute I stepped up my game with him, he cut off conversation. No more correspondence, unless he died. Okay? The lower edge of an inferior mirage at sea forms the apparent horizon. He says this without any qualification, folks. He says this without any qualification. All right? This is Andrew Thomas Young right here. Okay, Andrew Thomas Young. Okay, boom. Okay, listen. Listen very carefully, everybody. I mean, this is gold. Okay, if you're interested in this, this is gold right here. What we're doing, this is gold. Okay, no one's saying this, as far as I know. And look, okay, this is a mirage. This is a mirage. The lower edge of an inferior mirage at sea forms the apparent horizon. Andrew Thomas Young. The lower edge, that's this right here, forms the apparent horizon. Now, since last year, when I debunked Sean G on my videos, why can't Sean G horizon? But I've been saying this, and I said it before I read this article. And I got shut down by the trolls. I got shut down by Rumpus. I got shut down by all these knuckleheads who don't freaking do any field observations, okay? Listen to me very carefully, please. Very carefully. This is a mirage right here. This is a mirage. Just like this is a mirage, just like this is a mirage. Why can you not see the ground or anything? Why can't you see the water that's here? There's water here because Lake Pontchartrain goes and goes and goes and goes, goes to the shoreline. That's the shoreline. Okay? So you tell me how much distance, how much height is compressed and swallowed up in this atmospheric phenomenon. What did I just say? The stream is dead. I said atmosphere. This refraction phenomenon. All right? This is the Ætherband. This all right here is the Ætherband. Ætherband. In this small field of view here, in this band, we are not seeing sky. This is not sky. Okay. All right. So here I zoom in even more, and you can clearly. Oh, that's the other point that I wanted to make on that real quick. And let me go back and let me undo that. Okay. So what I want to show you right now is this. This is okay. You might have a problem with me saying that this is a mirage. This entire band is a mirage. Oh, Travis, that's not. Oh, no way. No way, Travis. There's no way that's a mirage. Okay. So this building here has enough elevation that we do not see the top, right? So what that means is that this entire, I don't want Phil, okay? This entire square here, right, is an inferior mirage with the this is what Andrew Thomas Young and other mirageologists say, okay? This is the erect image. This is the physical image. This is the erect image. This is the mirrored image of this. The proportions match, okay? This is not vertical. This is not vertical. I'm going to say it again. This is not a 90-degree image. Just like this is not a 90-degree image. I'm not moving up in my vision 90 degrees. I'm looking out farther, and this is farther. It's not up. This is now up. See that? That's up. This is over. Okay, so I'm going to do this again for this one. Okay, from the shoreline, I'm sorry, from the disclosing line, from the disclosing line to the object, that's distance. How far away is that? You know, that would be the science in this, because the horizon here, the next day could be down here. The horizon could be up here, right? So put a boat here, and you're going to know how much distance this is on this day. On this day, you know what I'd like you to do, Barumpus? You know what I'd like you to do, Dean? You know what I would like you to do, Sean G? Is you want a prediction? I want you to predict how far away the horizon will be. Oh, well, our model works perfectly. Our model is just the perfect model. I can make the predictions, and we can know what's going to happen, and it's just wonderful. Okay, predict this. Predict how far the horizon is going to be from, or predict what this degree of angle is going to be. Surely you can math the shit out of that. No, you can't. I'm just going to tell you, don't do it. Don't. You'll be wasting your time. It's too difficult for you because you don't understand. Oh, see, I get distracted. So here's where I'm trying to go with this, okay? See, okay, look at the difference here. You see the difference here from the left? This image here has, it's floating. This image is floating. This image is floating. This image is floating. This image isn't floating. Why isn't it floating? Why? Why isn't that floating? Because it is higher than these buildings. These buildings are lower, so we can see the full image, right? This building is right here. Everything, this whole building is right here. What I noticed right now that I want to highlight again, let me try to make my point that I am trying to make, okay? The point that I'm trying to make for you is this, okay? This building right here is too high for us to see a full image of an inferior mirage. Okay? The symmetry, like if these buildings didn't exist right here, the symmetry of these two buildings right here is too vertical and without angle for us to understand that this is in an inferior mirage. If you simply looked at this building by itself, you would think that this were the entire building. It's not. This is not the entire building. Well, where's the rest of the building? Where's the bottom of the building? I'm going to tell you for Smurf, it's not down here. It's not behind the water. Okay? So, Travis, how do you know that this building is in an inferior mirage? Because we got this right here. This is wrong. This building was not built with a lipoma. Okay, this is not a building lipoma. All right, this is an inferior mirage. Oh, you might. Well, maybe it was built that way. Okay, sure, maybe. How about this one? Is this a spaceship? It's floating in the air. So what we need to understand is that the Ætherband, okay, the Ætherband is in this space right here. It's in the entire space. All right, don't misunderstand me, but we're focusing on this particular band right here. Okay. Everything in this rectangle right here is a mirage. Everything. Everything. What do you mean everything, Travis? This is a mirage. This is a mirage. This is a mirage. And this is a mirage. This is a mirage. This is a mirage. This is a mirage. This to Smurf is a mirage. Okay? Now, again, I still haven't made my point. Get to the point. What we have here is a beautiful grade of an inferior mirage. Okay, so this is the erect image of the building. This is the top of the building inverted, right? Now, this is not symmetrical because if you cut this image in half, it doesn't equal itself. Okay, so there's a bit of distortion, and I would call that distortion magnification. What do you mean, Travis? The top of this building is bigger than it should be if you were to draw this building at this distance on paper. Okay? This is magnified, this is magnified, this is magnified, and this is magnified. Okay? Draw me these pictures, draw me these buildings with their dimensions on a piece of paper, their angular size at the distance that I'm making this observation. They will be smaller on paper than this. That means this is magnification. My point is, you cannot cut this one in half exactly. The mirage is down here. So you see this? Okay, look at this. I'm talking out loud. This is, this is gold right here. This is gold. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to give it right there. Okay, you see that? So now I'm going to put that. No, I'm going to do it backwards. Okay, I'm going to start at. I think that this building has an aerial. I think there's an aerial there. Okay, so here is the entire image of this building. Now, again, what I mean by aerial, if you don't know, and I'm not trying to belittle you, there's an antenna. I think that there's an antenna there. Now look at. You see the antenna? Okay. So the reason why you can't see it very well is because I made this image bigger and it washed out the aerial. In the original scaling of it, you can see a vertical line there. Okay, you see this antenna right here to right here. Okay, this is 28 miles away. You think that this antenna is going to be blink test that for me, Travis. If I blink test this sail from this sailboat, and then if I make it exactly the same thing, and I cut and paste and shrink and blink. Okay, look, there is an antenna right there. This is 28 miles away. This is not the size of the antenna. Okay. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. I'm going to mark off the erect image here, okay? Now, clearly, the inverted image is not to scale. It's not an equal proportion. The inverted image is smaller, okay? So I'm just going to do this for kicks and shiggles. Here is the size of the inverted. Here is the physical image here. There's the physical image. Now, by contrast, the inverted image is compressed. You see that? The inverted image. Oh my goodness. The inverted image is compressed. This is the physical, and it's bigger than its inversion, okay? Now, I still haven't made the original point. We have a space above the horizon that looks like sky, okay? This is what I was trying. My argument was that this is all mirage. This is not sky. And someone would say, well, look, I see the sky right there. What are you talking about, Travis? Well, is this a mirage? Yeah, you know, I think that I can understand what you're saying. I think that this entire image is a mirage. Okay, so are you okay with saying that this part of the building down here, or I'm sorry, this part of the image down here is not the physical building? Yeah, I think I can go with that. Okay, well, can you see sky here? No, I can't see sky here. Can you see any sky here? No, I can't see any sky here. Can you see the sky right here? Yeah. And it's bigger, and then it's bigger. Because this building is smaller, this building is smaller, this building is taller, this building is taller, no sky, taller, no sky, tallest, no sky, not tall enough, boop. Okay? Thanks.
Can I stop right here? Does everybody understand the point that I'm making?
I get it.
Absolutely.
So they think that, right, that they get that the mirage underneath isn't the physical building. They're saying that behind the mirage is the physical building, and that it's just the skyline is the skyline, and the edge of the water is the edge of the earth, but the mirage only happens on the building, and that mirage only flips down and covers the physical building.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What the fuck? That's the most. That's silly.
Yeah.
You're lucky I love you.
Thanks,
Yeah.
You're welcome. That's a
Yep.
thrill.
That was a perfect throw.
Okay.
Alexander, appreciate it. Okay, now here is where I'm going to try to unpack. Let me try to gather my thoughts, because I told myself that I was going to write this morning, and I had to handle things. I had to up my my internet here in the apartment because Streamlabs was tanking, and I couldn't figure out anything else to do. So I think it's my bandwidth. So, and they probably cut back on it. You know, they're all in cahoots, right? They know what I'm doing. They're like, oh, we got to cut this guy's bandwidth down so that he ups his plan, whatever. Okay, let me try to see what I was going to say about this. So, let me do this. This is the Flying Dutchman. Okay? This represents the Flying Dutchman. Right? That legend of that legend of yore, that legend of the yesteryears. Okay? The legend of the Flying Dutchman is that sailors out at sea, mariners on the open water, miles and miles away from other ships, looked out and saw that the water had a limit. You know what they assumed? They saw that the water had a limit. And they also saw a maritime vessel with the sky underneath it. And they said to themselves, what are we seeing? What are we seeing? How is this ship with no inferior mirage? This ship has no inferior mirage. I'm going to make it even. Hold on. Okay. I'm going to make it smaller and farther away. Actually, let me do this. Okay. This boat is really, really small. It's really far away. This is like 25 miles, 30 miles away, right? From us. Here we are. This is the viewer's perspective. This is the egocentric perspective here. Now, let me do this. Get more angles or more accuracy with these angles this way. Okay. I wanted a regular. Oh, there it is. Okay. This is our perspective. And we see this boat with the sky underneath it. Where in the world could that boat be? Where boats don't float up in the air. Right? Boats don't float up in the air. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what this would look like if we were on the open ocean and there were no mirage underneath this boat. You ready? All you would see is a boat on the water. That's no big deal, right? But when there's a mirage and you see a boat with sky underneath it and you do not understand that this is a mirage, well, why isn't the boat in a mirage, Travis? Why is it? Because it is farther away and above, just like this, right? Just like this. Okay? If you don't have a problem with my saying that this is a mirage, and you don't say to me, well, why is it the top of the thing? Because it's higher. It's higher. Well, why is it the... Because it's farther away, and in perspective, things rise up. This is not difficult, people. It's not difficult. This is not difficult. This is not difficult. Okay.
That's good shit.
This video, Nick.
I like it. It's no difficult.
Nice, Trav.
You guys have any follow-up? Anything? Any questions or clarification? Can I say anything better?
I don't know. I'd have to go through and really pick at it.
Yeah.
Do you write it out before you do it?
No, that was all stream of conscious.
Letting it flow. Yeah, I found that's like that last video I did. It took me like a week and a half to write that thing.
Right,
I
exactly.
changed it so many times. I wanted every word to be precisely what I wanted to say.
Right, which is what I came to understand when I was in the ministry, and we were trained to prepare messages. They said, when you give a speech, you need to think of preparation time as, if you're going to give a 30-minute speech, that's 30 hours of prep.
Mm-hmm.
Every minute you write is an hour of constructing what you're going to say. So exactly. I have a PhD friend. She's a nurse. And I was talking to her about what I wanted to do in writing a proposal, because she publishes, right? She writes for publication. She said, well, let me tell you about the last time I wrote for publication. It took me 6 months to write the essay, and they still rejected it. 6 months to write. That's her full-time job. She got paid to write. So I'm under no illusion that this month that I'm thinking I'm going to take some time off and write, I'm going to get one sentence out. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't want to get one sentence out, but you understand the idea. This is not a one and done. Listen, this is a full-time job. And this is then not even doing anything with my captures and my footage. It's just exclusively writing, which I love. I mean, I love the research of it, but to do that, I can't.
Yeah, it takes time.
You know? Anyway.
It really does.
So there it is. There you go. Anybody out there in chat? I don't see much action on there. I see one last comment that was quite a while ago, so I don't know if they're talking or if I need to refresh.
Yeah, I couldn't watch the video and the chat at the same time, the way we have it set up.
Yeah, I'm just
there.
getting back to chat too.
So yeah, I haven't been.
Yeah, I don't see it. I don't think.
Sorry, folks.
No, I don't see any questions. So, but anybody out there? Let's see, Robert.
I'm not even seeing our show. What the heck's going on here?
It should be there.
Yeah, I see it.
It didn't come up on my. That's crazy.
You probably got unsubscribed.
I mean, they must have just did it because it was in my subscription a little bit ago.
Yeah, Robert says the chat's quiet. So.
Yeah.
Thank you, Flat Earth Ship Bear. Great vid. I appreciate that. Thanks.
Shout out to Sandy Duncan there as well. Shout out to Allison Briscoe. There was zero sarcasm in my yay, because I was glad to see you come back. I just assumed you were being quiet, as you are oft prone to do?
Well, let me just say, guys, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to geek out and to talk about what I'm doing, what my passion is. Hopefully that comes across. And thank you. I appreciate it.
I've got
Thank
very
you for
little
sharing it with
spare
us.
cash on my end for you, Travis, but I'm going to throw a little money your way because
Yep.
I would totally support you getting out there and trying to, at the very least, highlight this. But
Yeah.
in a perfect scenario, you're going to spread some intellectual awareness and actually get some stuff done. I think that would be super. I think that would be awesome if that could actually happen.
Well, let me ask you a question real quick. Did the description and the explanation of what I was trying to say about the image of the mirage being on the x-axis, did that come across the way I wanted it to? Did it make sense?
Yeah, but I already knew what you were talking about.
See,
We've talked about this.
Okay.
Right, when we talked on Wednesday,
So-
and you made me understand the idea of it being
So yeah, you
Like a
kind of
shadow,
already broken that down to us
almost, you know?
before we saw
Yeah,
that
yeah,
video.
yeah. I didn't bring out that point on this video, but that's a good, and yours. I'm going to steal your little flat Earth paper thing. I'm going to do that. That was a really helpful tool, I think.
I used to have one that said Jesus saves on my refrigerator.
Yeah,
I just wish I could have made it come out better. I changed my lights earlier.
yeah. The light's good. That's better.
Just the camera won't do
Yeah,
what I want it to.
yeah. I can see it. Flat Earth.
Anyway.
I see it.
Yeah, cool though. A new shirt. You have to lay down on me to read it. There's your dating app shirt there.
Just says dating stream in real tall letters.
Is this a dating stream?
You got to lay down on top of me to see it. Well, thanks so much for coming on, Travis. It's been an absolute pleasure. We need to make it less of a time in between.
Less of a hot minute.
Sure, man. Definitely.
Sure.
Now that you're hanging doing it, definitely share it with us as it's progressing. If you have something you want to
Yeah, I'd like to do that.
And it doesn't
sure.
have to, we're here on this YouTube doing it with video. It's a lot easier to show what you're showing, but certainly anytime you're up early or whatever, if you want to come hang out with us over there at TFR, definitely hit us up, man. We're there. You know that?
Yeah, you can bet if I'm awake and I'm cognizant while you guys are live, I'll jump on.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the issue for us as well. So
We
you
get that a
probably hear
lot.
us sometimes.
Few guests, but we do get that a lot. Shout out to David Weiss, who was nice enough to grace us with his presence this morning.
Yeah, this morning was a blast, Dave. Thanks a lot for
It was. That was
for
a good time.
sure.
Yeah, he's been the last couple shows. He's heard us on. Well,
I think he would be intrigued by
sent
this
me a
presentation
message.
too, Travis. I really do. So
he got up real early and
Good job.
sent me a message, and I was like, yeah, I'll mention it on the show. He's like, what show? I was like, Ironworks on TFR. I'm on right now. He's like, oh shit, my bad. And then ever since then, like as soon as he gets up on Tuesdays
Yeah,
and Fridays,
he's
now he
popping in.
jumps in. Yeah, it's cool.
So, not that AM radio is a big thing anywhere, really, to speak of.
Hey, I used to live on
dude,
AM
that was
radio.
my travels.
Yeah,
Yep.
it sure was.
Anytime on the road.
Was
Fucking
being the specific word here I'm trying to focus on. These days, AM radio is not necessarily a big thing.
Mhm.
But I guess here in St. Louis, there's who covers the Cardinals and I guess maybe some of the Blues and stuff. It's a sports. They do all that good stuff. So KMOX is a pretty big radio station, relatively speaking, given that it is on the AM bands. But David Weiss was on there doing some flat smacking. They had him on. I saw that on one of his interviews that he was on KMOX. So I don't know that he's seen my stuff over there on 97.1 or heard me on there. So because he seemed a little thrown off when I told him that we converted him.
You guys wake up. Yeah. Half the St. Louis Cardinals.
Uh-huh. But I don't know of any other flat smacking that's gone on here in St. Louis besides myself and David Weiss over the last 6 years. So.
And you were on like the most listened to radio show in St. Louis.
Yeah.
It wasn't just about sports.
And not for nothing, he's wrapping up his contract there on 97.1, and will be going over now to KMOX for their afternoon drive time. They're swapping. They're doing a little mid-season trading between the sister stations, 97.1 and KMOX. So their afternoon jockeys will be swapping stations. So.
Oh wow, that's going to be a change for them.
Yeah, I don't know they'll be listening to it.
Let me jump in real quick because we have two comments. Flat Earthship Bear posted the what do you guys call it, Zach? The Great Switcheroo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Flat Earthship Bear, that's his link in there where he talked about another good one on optical phenomenon is Gav's discussion with you guys.
I dropped it back so it's clickable for everybody.
Okay, there you go. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
And then Robert Page said, is part of the plan to capture this again with the boat in the picture? Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. And not only that, but another boat, 2 or 3 boats, because we want to demonstrate the depth perception of what I was saying about sending a boat into the mirage, because we're going to see the boat along the lines of perspective, so it's going to be elevated above the apparent horizon. So we need a boat on the horizon so we know where that coordinate is, and then we need a boat in the band so that we know when that starts to take effect at a different level, and then another boat beyond that, right? It's just I think.
So what you need is a set distance. You need one person on one side, one person on the other. Get it so you know you're capturing this optical phenomenon. You're getting all the reflections going on, and send a boat out and watch that boat go out and see what it does.
Not only that, but a 4th boat at a 90-degree angle. So the boat is looking at the orthographic. Yep. And you know what he's not going to see? He's not going to see the mirage.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to see boats moving away from each other along a horizontal plane. All right. So you got these guys all time stamped. You've got the 90-degree boat at a certain distance filming these boats doing it. So it's all time. It's all syncopated. So there's no mistaking. And so it's almost like, it's a different vantage point. And that was actually an interesting, exciting opportunity that I had, but I couldn't do anything about it. Okay, so Robert, it's not just about the boat. It's also about having another observer on the land at a different location from me. So last year in January, when I went out to California for my annual visit to shoot, I found an opportunity to look over the entire archipelago of the Channel Islands from about 300 feet elevation. And I took stills of it, I took video of it, and it looked really dynamic, looked fantastic, absolutely. So I jumped in my car, traveled down to the beach, and as I was driving up the 101 and came into Ventura, and I came up to the point where the 101 was elevated enough for me to see the islands, I could see that I was going to have an amazing shoot because there was so much going on. There was an inferior mirage. And so when I got down to the point where I set up, I'm shooting at the same location, excuse me, and I'm capturing for the very first time a Fata Morgana. Okay, never shot one before, and there it is. Not only that, but I had been in California for a week, and the conditions were so poor. The lighting was bad. The conditions were pretty stable, so that I didn't have any contrast. Like the stuff I shot at 8 in the morning, I had the same effects at 4 in the afternoon. So like I was just watching the same stuff. It was nothing changed. I was so bummed out. And 2 days before I was going to fly back home, I said, I'm not going. I'm staying another week. The very next day, I was supposed to be on a plane to Baltimore. That day was the day this happened. So I'm setting up and shooting, and as I'm shooting, I'm thinking, holy shit, I was just up at that other location looking 90 degrees. I didn't see this. Okay. Now listen very carefully. Not only that, here's another chuckle button for you. If I gave I don't know, I don't even know what they call them, a physicist in atmospheric optics. If I gave him all of my data and he crunched his numbers, he's like, yeah, you know what? That's what you should see. You should see this. I would say, okay, what about when I'm 300 feet away looking at a 90-degree angle? Because I didn't see it. So you're telling me that the conditions that were right for a Fata Morgana in one location, those very same conditions are wrong for a Fata Morgana in another position. Awesome. That was perfectly timed. Yeah, it's ominous. It's absolutely ominous. But I'm game. I'm up for it. So
that is no small feat for sure.
And the exciting thing about having an opportunity to get out to the Bonneville Salt Flats is to do this over land, right?
Yeah.
And because again, I would love to spend at least 3 days at the Bonneville Salt Flats to have 3 different climate changes.
Well, when you're down in New Orleans, around Louisiana, find a spot. What are they called? The Boundary Waters Walt, or the intercoastal waters, or it's like
the intercoastal waterways. Yeah.
Yeah. Find, what are those trees called?
With the cypress here.
Cypress trees. Go find. If you want to take some amazing pictures of some just the trees themselves.
I know. Listen, I was over in Walt. Is it Mandeville?
Yes, sir.
That's where I was shooting from. Okay.
Yep.
I did not want to leave there. I was there for a hot minute, and I was like, "Oh my god, this place is amazing."
Mm-hmm.
So the cypress trees were there. The moss was hanging off. I was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!" And it was
I took 100 pictures in like 10 minutes.
Oh yeah. You can spend a week there in an afternoon. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, for sure. So, but Walt,
reach out for sure.
I will definitely, man. Definitely. I apologize tremendously.
No, dude. It's a big world. Lots of folks, lots of things going on. Definitely reach out when you hear them.
For sure.
Of course, that being said, hell, I live 2.5 hours from Jason and Rose and yet to bump fists or hug yet, just because timing and life and all that. So hit me up, man. Hit me up.
Definitely.
I get to see Travis in let's see. Let me jump on my Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac clock app.
Get a reminder set.
20 days, 10 hours.
There you go. I'll just pack myself a wood bag and hide on their doorstep. Maybe they'll take me on their trip to see you guys. I'll be in a big drum case. It'll take at least a bass case.
Yeah, I can't wait. This is going to be fun.
It shall be fun. I reckon we should wrap it up, eh?
Yeah. So, man, we have Travis's GoFundMe there in our actual show description.
Did we get the right one? I think you gave us the wrong one on Wednesday.
Did we get a different one? I apologize. Well,
no, the one that you dropped earlier, Walt, worked for me. I clicked it and it took me right to it. So
there's one in the show
description. If the one in the
description.
chat's not working, then we'll replace that one with this one that does work. And what I'll do is go drop it here in the YouTube chat for everyone once more.
And if you do have the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac clock app, there's a new feature, if you haven't been there in a few days, is there's this picture app thing. It looks like a color wheel. And you click on it. If you look at the second picture, that is Walt's picture that he added to the app this morning live on Ironworks.
No. Now give true credit where credit is due. That is Hubble's image.
Yeah, that's a Hubble image, actually. Yeah, Walt
you mean
isn't the
Sophia?
artist. No. They claim it's from Hubble. They actually, and it looks like Borderland 2, like graphics. It's just ridiculous. If they could take a picture of what is this, an asteroid? Yeah, going by. They should be able to take a picture of me flipping off the Hubble from the front yard. You know, the Hubble can see this good, and they can get up that close and focus in on that. Yeah, I'm calling horseshit.
My app is crashing every time I open it.
That's no bueno.
Then
Update.
uninstall it and then reinstall it.
Yeah.
And it should work good. Yeah, that happens from time to time. Whenever he changes something new, some of them, it's weird. You know how computers are. All the different operating systems and different providers and all that kind of stuff. Stuff gets jumbled.
I have mine.
Shut
leave
up.
Home. Don't leave home without it.
Oh, my word.
All right. Well, I'm getting the call. I got a bit of a rumbly in my tumbly. So I reckon we could get out of here, huh?
Thank you all so much. Thank you, Travis.
My pleasure.
Peace, love, brother, out there being helpful there to Alex. Lots of love to you guys. Thank you.
See you in here in 20 days, Trav. Can't wait.
Oh, man, it's going to be so good.
So good.
Well, you know, if you sneak out here, we'll sneak you in the house and put you up, darling.
Cool.
I mean,
I'll find a rug.
always.
Me and Hank will eat scraps in the corner. We'll work it out, man.
That's right. There's always a place to sneak Walt in.
I love you guys. Y'all rock. Chat, y'all rock. Thank you all. Thank you for being here and hanging out. Definitely come back and check us out next Friday here and today as well over there. The TFR. We'll try our best not to cuss.
Maybe.
And then definitely head over to The Plain Truth. We've got a gentleman named Travis. Go see him there. His
Oh, yeah. So if you don't use the link, if you put the link in there for him, please, because if you search for it in the bar, in the search bar, you're going to have to scroll through pages of golf tutorials. For some reason, the Plain Truth golf tutorials is really weird.
That is really weird.
But if you forget about it or whatever, lose the link, if you put in the Plain Truth and include Chesapeake Bay or Anacapa, that's going to help the algorithm on that. So if you search for it manually, add those two other words into the search bar, either Chesapeake Bay or Anacapa.
You are definitely staying busy, Travis. That's for sure.
It was a what? You know it.
No, I'm not gonna play too much, but I just had to a little bit.
I want to lose this great show, damn it, because
Nope.
man, they've been on us. Woo.
Yeah, I had to just a little bit though. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a tip.
Just a little bit.
All right. With that, we shall get the hell out of here. Let's see what shall we
Love
do.
y'all.
Let's do a little bit of Lucas. I think that's what we
Have
should
a
do.
great weekend.
Patreons, I'm putting some guitar stuff up for you, I promise. I just recorded new things today, jamming on my sound I'm happy with. So it's coming. It's coming.
Ooh, nice. All right. We'll call that a Have No Sphere. Thank you so much, Travis. Thank you, Cammie. John Savage, we miss you.
Come on, do it. Do it, Josh.
Hope we'll see you back here before too long.
Savage!
There it is. Wasn't too loud. It's been obnoxious in my
You
ears.
too, Rob, you crusty fucker.
Grumpy old man.
Yep. All right. Love you guys. Have
Love
a
you guys.
great rest of your weekend. We will see you next week, bright and early on Tuesdays, for another episode of The Ironworks with Lucas, Zach, Walt, and I. And who in the hell knows who may show up, whether it's David Weiss or Jonathan from Jersey, or, call lines are open. You never know what happens over there. Come see us, hang out. TFRlive.com, truthfrequencyradio.com, The Ironworks. Love you guys. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.